Internet 937. 10 p.m. Seattle Kraken take on the Chicago Blackhawks. Kraken on Sirius 208 XM 219 and Internet 943. Blackhawks on Internet 925. For 24/7 coverage of the NHL season and hockey across the world, keep it locked on Sirius XM NHL Network Radio, Channel 91. I'm Frank Trachtenberg with your Sirius XM NHL schedule for Thursday, November the 14th. All times are Eastern, and please remember, all games, times, and channels are subject to change. Check SiriusXM.com for the latest updates.
MLB Network Radio is your home for 24/7 baseball talk, featuring on-site coverage of every major event from spring training through the World Series and expert analysis from former general managers and players. SiriusXM, Channel 89.
Hockey Hall of Famer and Stanley Cup champion for the Edmonton Oilers and New York Rangers, Mark Messier joined Scott Laughlin on the morning skate for SiriusXM NHL Network Radio on Channel 91 to discuss the pressures of Game 7 after having played in 9 Game 7s himself, winning 7 of them, and how you can either thrive under pressure or crumble underneath it.
I must look at Game 7s, Mark, like I do overtime in the Stanley Cup playoffs or overtime in any sporting event where you've got so much pressure on you and every play gets magnified. Could you, during the course of your career, and you don't have to name names, but could you look around the dressing room or could you look on the opposing bench and could you figure out those that wanted...
You're listening to NHL Play-by-Play on SiriusXM.
Games in, and the Wild continue to pile up points.
Angles every Boldy a shot. He scores! Matt Boldy, and with 4:31 to go, the Wild have tied this game at 1.
Yeah, big goal.
That was late in regulation. Sunday in Chicago, Wild end up losing in overtime, but gain another point. They're up to 23 now on the season, the most in franchise history through 15 games. Tonight, they'll return home for just the 6th time this season, and waiting for them, hockey royalty in the Montreal Canadiens. There's no Ken Dryden, Rocket Richard, or Jean Beliveau on this version of Les Habitants, but that doesn't mean they don't have dangerous talent.
Garfield au cercle droit, le gardien est parti, le tir est goal! Goal! Garfield! Son deuxième du match! Et c'est 3-3!
The former Badger is tied for the NHL lead in goals and is in St. Paul tonight as the Wild host the Montreal Canadiens.
Hey Wild fans, this is Freddie Goudreau. Don't go anywhere. The pregame continues after the break. This is Wild Hockey presented by Excel Energy.
You have a job and a paycheck. Sure, that usually works for keeping your finances on track. But there are times when having access to the money you've already worked for can be a game changer. In-between times are the ones that can make a big difference in your life. In comes Daily Pay. With Daily Pay, you can access your earned wages when you want them. Because your hard work happens on the daily, you should be able to reap your rewards on the daily. Find out if your company offers Daily Pay. Visit us at get.dailypay.com.
As the official partner of the Minnesota Wild, Enterprise is ready to go that extra mile. We're dedicated to the most dedicated fans in the game. And with us on your team, you can move forward with confidence, knowing we've got your back. We're always available with mobility solutions, whether you need a rental, replacement, truck, or even tailored business strategies.
He scores!
At Enterprise, your goal is our goal, and we're ready with the assist.
Montreal did not win here since 2011. You pay attention to those numbers.
No, if I was here, then maybe, but no. No, I think everything's totally different teams, and so that doesn't, it's just what's going to happen tonight.
Been a long time since the Wild have lost to the Montreal Canadiens at XL Energy Center, but John Hines doesn't expect that to mean much tonight. Welcome back to St. Paul. Kevin following us from the Al Shaver press box, and we're getting ready for the Wild and Canadiens. Wild fell in overtime to the Blackhawks on Sunday night at the United Center, but still took 5 of 6 points on the road trip. Since then, they enjoyed a couple of days off away from the ice which were badly needed, says Wild captain Jared Spurgeon.
It was a short but felt like a long trip, so being able to come back and relax a bit, get back with the family, do some of that stuff was fun, but to be back here and have a practice day as well before the next couple here at home was important.
I know it has only been 15 games of the season, but it feels like you guys have spent the bulk of it on the road. I mean, it just feels like there's been very little time on home ice. That mental break has to be clutch for any number of guys in this room, yourself included.
Yeah, like you said, it's 15 games in, but there's a lot of time on the road, a lot of days in between where they can get a bit long and a lot of time stuck on the plane. So to be able to come home here and reset the body and rest up, maybe some nicks and stuff like that is awesome heading into this little homestand before again we head out on the road for a week.
We had a conversation with Jonas Brodin on the road a little bit. You guys have been teammates forever. It's amazing how little time you guys have played together, though. He said that and it clicked. I mean, I guess you guys really haven't played that much. What's it been like now, not only to have him as a teammate, but for the most part, you guys have been paired up here a little bit?
Yeah, he's a pretty easy guy to play with. You find yourself sitting back and watching quite a bit. Pretty special with the way he can skate, defend, and break pucks out. And on the offensive side as well, he creates so much with that skating and the vision that he has. So we've had a couple games sprinkled in here and there throughout our career, but consistently being together has been pretty awesome.
Last thing, you're back on home ice then Thursday night hosting the Montreal Canadiens. 5 of 6 on the road trip. That's good. I know you guys didn't like the way things ended in Chicago. Although that third period, I don't know that you guys could have done much else. How do you carry that forward now against the Canadiens team that certainly has been struggling this season?
Yeah, we worry about ourselves. Obviously, you're set here, like you said, with those days off and try and get that energy back from the road and look forward to homestands. We have great fans and we love playing in front of them. So to be able to play here tomorrow, Thursday, and get this quick homestand going, it's important for us to get off on the right foot.
How's the youth hockey in the Spurgeon household?
It's going well. Some tryouts, but it's busy.
All right, Jared, good luck here Thursday night. Awesome to see you on the ice.
Thank you very much, Kev.
Jared Spurgeon yesterday from Trio Rink in St. Paul. We talked about him playing with Jonas Brodin quite a bit lately. That won't be the case tonight, though. Brodin is out with an upper body injury. The other question marks into tonight were defenseman Zach Bogosian and winger Marcus Johansson. Both missed yesterday's practice, but are expected in the lineup tonight. Both were involved in the pregame skate. The Wild will be up against a fourth straight team that's rebuilding. This one is the Montreal Canadiens. The Habs are coming off a win in Buffalo, but all that did was stop a 6-game losing streak, but they do have a young kid by the name of Cole Caulfield.
One more chance, Caulfield scores! Oh my stars, Cole Caulfield ties it!
I think he's really smart. He's a smart guy. He's got good speed. He's explosive and elusive at his size. I think he's a competitive kid. I think he's competitive on the puck, and he'll play and be competitive against bigger guys. And then obviously, I think his offensive instincts go along with his shot. He's one of these guys that can find open areas or scoring areas where he can use his release.
Caulfield was drafted 15th overall by the Canadiens in 2019, and his 12 goals have him tied with guys like Draisaitl, Rantanen, and Nylander for the NHL goal-scoring lead. His team, though, having a rough go. They've lost 6 of their last 7 and don't enjoy coming to St. Paul. They've lost 10 straight here, dating all the way back to March 20th, 2011. PK Subban, the hat trick as the Canadiens beat the Wild 8-1 on that night, but the Wild have won the next 10 here and 16 of the last 17 overall. Those are your news and notes. Tom Reed is next. This is Wild Hockey, presented by XL Energy.
The biggest names in NASCAR talk are now with SiriusXM.
Hey, this is Dale Earnhardt Jr. inviting you to listen to my podcast, The Dale Jr. Download, each week on Dirty Mo Media and SiriusXM. As we react to NASCAR news, we chat with interesting people and share life's experiences. Whether it be Dirty Air, your Ally guest episodes, or DJD Reloaded, there's always something for you on the download.
Hear the Dale Jr. Download, plus every incredible podcast from Dirty Mo Media, right now on the SiriusXM app.
The National Women's Soccer League Championship game is coming to SiriusXM.
Hey, it's World Cup winner Heather O'Reilly of SiriusXM FC. Join Jessica Charman and me for the first national radio broadcast of the NWSL final.
That's right, Heather. We'll be taking you through every thrilling moment live from Kansas City.
Join us as we make history at the 2024 NWSL final on Saturday, November 23rd at 8 Eastern.
And it's on SiriusXM FC channel 157 and streaming on the SiriusXM app.
We play a lot of games in a row early year, and we're happy to play in our building, in our fans. It's always exciting, and it's fun because every game like a full ring. People coming and watching us, and we just try won these games, and that's it.
Kirill Kaprizov with Joe O'Donnell last night on KFAN Wild Weekly. If you missed that interview, you can hear it later on tonight, so don't go anywhere. Tom Reed's with me in the Al Shaver press box. Tom, the Wild took 5 of 6 on the road trip, but it feels like it's too bad they couldn't start in Chicago the way they finished. That third period was awesome. The first 40 minutes, not so much.
Yeah, no doubt about it, Kevin. I think that the travel schedule has gotten to the team. They didn't come out with a lot of gusto in those first 2 periods, but boy, they turned it up in the third period. They did everything they possibly could. I mean, with Bola getting the late goal and then going to overtime. But here's a team that's only lost 2 games in regulation all season long. And, it's a good, as bad as you feel about only getting 1 point, you still got a point.
Yep.
And the road trip has been very good. Minnesota's been very good on the road, and they'll get a test here tonight. You don't take these teams lightly, which I think happened in Chicago. I think the guys were a little bit tired going into that first and second period, but they turned it on the Jets. Hopefully those Jets are working here in the first period tonight.
You mentioned that going into the game in Chicago, last game of a road trip, all the travel, all that stuff, you worry about a trap. Now they come home to play a Montreal Canadiens team that's in a similar spot in the standings, and waiting in the wings, you got this Central Division collision against the Dallas Stars. How do you stop them from overlooking a rebuilding Canadiens club and focus at the task at hand?
Well, you can't worry about, you have to worry about your own team. You can't worry about what they're going to do. You got to play your game, and that's what Minnesota has to do. You can't sit back and go, we're just playing against a team that's not very good, that being Montreal. Montreal can win some games. We saw that the other night, but they win 7-5
Yeah, 7-5
against Buffalo.
In Buffalo.
Yeah, in Buffalo. And so, there's when you win a game like that, all of a sudden there's a little more renewed confidence in your game. Now they'll have to respond to Minnesota tonight. Minnesota needs some help right now. They've got to obviously get into that first period, and hopefully the help that comes from everybody working together to make it a good first period.
Again, knock on wood. Yes, that was my head. The injury situation has been nothing like it was last year. That said, there's a significant piece missing from the lineup tonight. That blue line has been so rock solid. What kind of a blow is it to not have Jonas Brodin?
Well, it hurts you, but at the same time, you know what? That's part of the game, and every team goes through the injury thing. And Minnesota, without him, somebody else will step in. The guys will step up a little bit more, I think, and get a chance. And Chisholm will get a chance to play, with Spurgeon out here. And you got a young kid and a seasoned veteran, and those two together, and they'll learn a little bit more. But I've liked Chisholm the way he's played. He's not a real physical type of a guy at this point, but he moves the puck well. He can walk the blue line. He can maneuver around. So I think his ability to play at this level right now. Every time you play a game, you learn just a little bit more. And they're playing against a very well-known hockey club right now, the Montreal Canadiens, but they're not very good right now.
No, they're not. And you're right. When I think of hockey royalty, sports royalty, I mean, you got the Yankees, you've got soccer clubs overseas that I don't know off the top of my head, and the Montreal Canadiens. Yet here they are in full-blown rebuild mode, which feels like it's been forever. You've talked to your friends in the media in and around Montreal. What's the temperature up there? The fan base has to be just on edge.
Well, Montreal, the Canadiens, that's their team in Montreal and Quebec, if you want to take the entire province. And, for a team that their last Stanley Cup, they've won 24 Stanley Cups. Their last one was 1994. So they've gone a long way. But you know what? They've won more cups than Minnesota has, that's for sure. And hopefully Minnesota find some energy tonight to start this and keep it going. They're in a pretty good roll right now.
We'll see what happens. We'll take a break, and then we'll get you a look at tonight's starting goaltenders. It's the Wild and Canadiens from St. Paul. This is Wild Hockey, presented by XL Energy.
Hey, it's Jeff Lewis, and I've got a big announcement. No, I didn't get canceled yet. Jeff Lewis Live is now 2 hours. That's 2 full hours of me at my best. No charity. Don't ever ask me about charity. No charity. Nothing for free. Or is it my worst? You know what I mean. I apologize. Oh, I'm so sorry. But I'm not sorry at all. It's real and it's messy. It's me, Jeff Lewis.
Jeff World is a great place.
I love it.
As long as everybody feels good.
I don't know if everybody feels good.
Jeff Lewis Live. Weekdays at 12 p.m. East on Radio Andy. Sirius XM 102.
Join me, Gord Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91.
The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind Ristolainen. Walks in. Put it between his legs. Shoots it. Score!
NHL play-by-play on SiriusXM. Hockey lives here.
Suzuki sweeps it. There's a chance. Rebound. Caulfield shoots and scores.
NHL play-by-play on SiriusXM.
Usually get peak teams records are always better at home. Have your fans behind you and sleeping in your own beds. We've been on the road a lot. It's always nice to be back home and, like I said, sleeping in our own beds.
Ryan Hartman, for just the 6th time in 16 games, the Wild tonight will skate on home ice. Time for the starting goaltenders. Tom, who goes tonight for your Minnesota Wild?
Well, once again, you're going to get Gus. He's going to get the call again. Kevin, you look at his record on the year, 11. He's gone in 11 games, 7-2-2 with a 2.27 goals against average. And what I really like, he's almost at 92% save percentage. So he's been hot. He's been good for Minnesota. Tough year last year. This year, much better.
Gustafsson tonight for Minnesota. Who goes for Les Habitants?
Sam Montembeault is going to get the call on this one. The youngster out of province of Quebec, now in his 5th year in the NHL. This is his 3rd with the Montreal Canadiens. And look at his record right now, 12 games. He's gone 4-7-1 with pretty high goals against average of 3.42 and a save percentage of just a little over 89%.
All right, Thomas, and we talked about with the lineup report, the big news is no Jonas Brodin tonight. So as mentioned, Middleton will skate with Faber. You got Chisholm and Spurgeon skating as a pair in the second pair. And then in comes Zach Bogosian, a question mark yesterday at the skate, will play tonight, and he'll skate with John Merrill. Up front, you got Marcus Johansson, a question mark yesterday, but will play tonight as the Wild host the Montreal Canadiens. Tom said it's the Gus Bus against Montembeault. The starting goaltenders are presented by the annual Progressive Keys to Progress program, providing vehicles to deserving veterans, helping our heroes drive their lives forward. Learn more at keystoprogress.com. Got to start using bigger font. We'll take a break, and then when we continue, we'll check in with Joe O'Donnell. This is Wild Hockey, presented by XL Energy.
To win your fantasy football league, you need to be one step ahead of the competition. And at SiriusXM Fantasy Sports Radio, we're giving you the edge you need to take home the trophy.
You're looking for a bye-week quarterback? Geno could fit the bill.
Touchdown! Geno Smith fires a shot!
Our experts are doling out start-sit advice, waiver pickups, and so much more to help you win a championship.
Just because you're allowed to make a waiver move doesn't mean you have to make a waiver move.
Listen right now on Channel 87 and on the all-new SiriusXM app.
The National Women's Soccer League Championship game is coming to SiriusXM.
Hey, it's World Cup winner Heather O'Reilly of SiriusXM FC. Join Jessica Charman and me for the first national radio broadcast of the NWSL Final.
That's right, Heather. We'll be taking you through every thrilling moment live from Kansas City.
Join us as we make history at the 2024 NWSL Final on Saturday, November 23rd at 8 Eastern.
And it's on SiriusXM FC channel 157 and streaming on the SiriusXM app.
The biggest games in the world.
Ovechkin fires! He scores!
SiriusXM NHL Network Radio.
National Hockey League and the Minnesota Wild Radio Network.
Systems go, 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 go.
Good evening, State of Hockey and friends, and welcome to XL Energy Center here in St. Paul, Minnesota, where tonight the Wild kick off a 2-game homestand as they entertain the Montreal Canadiens. Glad to have you along. Welcome aboard, friends. Joe O'Donnell and Tom Reed here with you. The Wild picked up 5 of a possible 6 points on a 3-game road trip, Tom. All things considered, pretty successful road swing. What'd you make of it?
Yeah, it's been good. There's no question about it, Joe. In fact, it's been successful all year long. They've only had 2 losses in regulation, a couple of overtime losses as well. But at the same time, this team has played so much better. And what I like about them is the confidence that they show on the ice and working with each other. They seem to know each other, having fun with each other, and with that comes the winning.
After the 7-game road trip, the Wild came home for 3. You and I talked about it, that first game against the Toronto Maple Leafs. You knew it would be a tough one, or Tampa Bay, then Toronto, because oftentimes after a long trip, it can be tough for a team. Can the Wild have learned from even just a couple weeks ago where they were on the road for a while and came back home?
Yeah, I think you do learn. Every time you play a game, you learn. Even the last game in Chicago, they lost the game in overtime. But you know what? It's one of those situations that they still played okay. I mean, it was a long road trip. They were tired in the first 2 periods, but they came back. And I think that right now this team realized they can win an awful lot of games, and they can start right here at home again tonight. Only 2 games home before they travel again.
John Hines said he was proud of the team's mental toughness Sunday in Chicago. Matt Boldy tied it. The Wild earned a point in the standings, so they fell 2-1 in overtime Sunday at United Center. Boldy tying the game with 4:31 left. Minnesota gave up just 22 shots in that hockey game. Again, as Tom said, just 2 regulation losses for the Wild. They're 10-2-3, second in the Central Division, second in the Western Conference. As for the Canadiens, they're 5-9-2. Last out of 16 teams in the Eastern Conference, but they got to win Monday in Buffalo, scoring 6 goals over the final 2 periods, gave up just 18 shots, and beat the Sabres 7-5. Puck drop next from St. Paul. It's the Wild and the Canadiens. You're listening to Wild Hockey, presented by XL Energy.
At the Home Depot, we know the world is a messy place. Keeping it clean takes science. That's why businesses everywhere have long trusted cleaning products from Ecolab to take on the toughest messes. And now, that level of clean is available for your home. Introducing Ecolab Scientific Clean, a full line of professional-grade cleaning products for all your home's needs, so you can clean like you mean business. Now available exclusively at the Home Depot. How doers get more done.
There's only one thing better than going to a Minnesota Wild game, and for me, that's breakfast. My breakfast always has to include Thomas's. They've got the crispy, warm nooks and crannies of a Thomas's English muffin, or sometimes I'll go with a crunchy on the outside Thomas's bagel. For me, Thomas's is the best way to start my day, and it should be yours too. With over 130 years of breakfast under their belt, Thomas's is ready to bring your breakfast to another level, because with Thomas's, breakfast tastes better.
Hey, Minnesota Wild fans! Fuel up for game day with Just Bear Chicken, the official chicken of the Wild. At Just Bear Chicken, we believe the best meals start with the best ingredients. That is why all our chickens are raised with no antibiotics ever, so you can enjoy delicious and nutritious chicken with confidence. Find Just Bear Chicken in the fresh or frozen aisle at your local grocery store today. And let's go Wild!
Ohio Stadium, where the Wolverine and Buckeye States meet to throw fuel on a century-old rivalry. But this time, it's different. This time, the roles of red and blue are reversed. This time, it's hockey at the Shoe. The Blue Jackets and Red Wings take it outside with the Navy Federal Credit Union NHL Stadium Series. Buy tickets now.
Lock it in and turn it up. Wild Hockey starts now. Wild Hockey on your radio is presented in part by
Toyota, official vehicle of the Minnesota Wild. Anderson Windows and Doors, love the life you see. Your Bryant Heating and Cooling dealers, doing whatever it takes since 1904.
Nothing's gonna stop us now. We own the night.
Soft down low, Zuccarello cut out with a backhanded try, and he scores!
It's time for Wild Hockey.
Catalyst Supply Co. Building materials and install support. Boost your build. XL Energy. Proudly powering the great state of hockey with safe, clean, and reliable energy.
And they score! Right off the draw, Kaprizov!
And now, with all the action, here's Tom Reed and Joe O'Donnell.
Through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
From the Al Shaver Press Box, XL Energy Center, St. Paul, Minnesota. Joe O'Donnell, Tom Reed back here with you. The Wild and the Canadiens meeting for the first time Minnesota will play in Montreal on January the 30th. Tom, what are you looking for in the first period tonight to know that Minnesota is ready, back on home ice, and after a couple days off and a good practice day yesterday, ready to roll?
Yeah, I would hope they play the same way in the first period as they did the third period the other night in Chicago. And, of course, they'll be ready. I think that the coaching staff, I think the players themselves have got them ready. Just being back home is kind of nice. They haven't had a lot of time to spend with their fans here because they've been traveling so much. But tonight, I think, should be a good start for Minnesota.
The Wild with a rare 3 days off. The only other time the rest of the season, they'll go 3 full days between games, the mandatory holiday break in December, and then over the Four Nations Cup and the bye week where the entire league shuts down. Other than that, this stretch here, 3 days with no games, doesn't happen again.
No, and it's not going to happen. But it's kind of nice just to get away, not just the physical part of it, but the mental part of it also. Just where you can relax a little bit and have some fun with your family, your kids, and whatever you want to do. But this should be a good start for Minnesota.
Found it interesting that John Hines noted with the broadcasters today, Tom, that the team hadn't practiced since November the 2nd. You know, we often think about morning skates and all these games and the travel, but like a full-on practice, the Wild hadn't had one in a couple weeks, so they really focused yesterday on tightening some things up. We'll see how that affects today's game.
Yeah, and you get into a schedule like this, all of a sudden you need that practice time also to work on specialty teams, your penalty killing, your power play, and just your regular shifts of, having 3-on-2s and just making sure you're going to be in a position that you're going to have an opportunity to make some good things happen.
Hartman carried it with a right circle shot that went wide. We're off and running here from St. Paul. Wild from right to left on your radio dial in the opening period. Tonight wearing their green sweaters. Canadians in their white uniforms skate from left to right in the first. A minute played in the opening period. Declan Chisholm headmans. Again, no Jonas Bernheim for the Wild, considered day-to-day. Injured Sunday in Chicago. And played just about 16 and a half minutes time on ice in that overtime loss. Gustafsson back of his cage. Swept it along Marcus Johansson. Chiseled it free. Grabbing it, Jared Spurgeon, who's paired up with Declan Chisholm for this hockey game. So both Merrill and Chisholm in the Wild lineup.
And that's a good combination. Also, you got a young kid still learning how to play the game with a veteran, and like the Spurgeon can teach him an awful lot.
Wild in on the forecheck. The Eriksson, Johansson, and Boldy line out up front. Nick Suzuki, the Canadiens' captain, pounded by Eriksson. On the second effort, Suzuki does clear through center. Bogosian taps along. Merrill feeds it right back to the New York native Zach Bogosian. And once more for John Merrill, who spent a bit of time with the Canadiens during the COVID-shortened 2021 season. Montreal now breaking this puck out. A long feed goes errant, and it's icing on Montreal.
Well, good start by Minnesota. No shots on net as of yet, and Minnesota has had one. That was the bank off of the boards from the defensive zone of Minnesota. Went right to the goaltender, Montembeault on the other side. So right now on the icing call, the faceoff will be in the Montreal zone. These two teams have met 31 times. Minnesota's record is 21-7-3 in those 31 games. And here in St. Paul, 15 games, Minnesota's record 12-2-1.
Wild won both games of last year's season series, scoring 9 total goals. On the recent road trip, the Wild 2-0-1, giving up 2 goals in each of the 3 games.
Yeah, that second win led by Minnesota last year against Montreal. It was a 4-3 overtime win at the 14:55 mark of the third period with Kaprizov getting the game winner.
Jake Evans carries ahead, slips it deep into the Wild zone. Back comes Brock Faber. Left wing side. In Minnesota ice, puck now squeezed back of the cage. Faber takes it. Long stretch pass for Kaprizov. Bounced off his tape. Ends up deep in the offensive zone. Mike Matheson, the veteran blue liner, back first for Montreal. Kaprizov hounding him. Matheson fights through it. Knocks it free for Caden Gooley. 6'3" blue liner. Was a -3 Monday, but again, the Canadiens prevailed 7-5 in Buffalo. That was one that the goaltenders and the goalie coaches would like to burn the tape.
And remember, Gooley last year got in that fight with Rossi also. Rossi had the Gordie Howe hat trick with a goal and assist in a fight.
Usnadinov feeds Kaprizov towards the Canadian slot. That's broken up. And it's shoved off the glass and out the center by Lucas Kandata. Kandata follows up this play near the red line and then peels it back for his defense. It's Jaden Struble, the former second rounder. They'll move it to Arbor Xhekaj and then back along to Struble. His pass was blocked. Trenyon grabbed it, rolls it along for the control of Jakub Lauko. Lauko spiked one from a tough angle. Blocker saved by Montembeault. Chisholm holds the line left side, angles it into the corner. Or big Yakov Trenyon goes to work. He'll feed the point for Chisholm. Chisholm across the blue line. Right wing pass. Spurgeon a shot. Blocked out in front. Kustadinov shoved down from behind. Struble to try and clear out. And he labels it through center. 3.5 minutes gone by in the opening period. No score from St. Paul. Lauko rims it around the Canadiens' end wall. Struble at the end of a long shift. Back to chase it. His feed tipped away from Kandata. Lauko trying to hustle to it. Good fourth line. A good shift by the Wild's fourth line, Tom.
Yeah, and that's what you're looking for. You're going to get production out of your top two lines, but you need that third and fourth line to jump in once in a while to get some offense going.
Both teams just changed. Freddie Gaudreau tips in for Minnesota. Gaudreau hailing from Bromont, Quebec, and now Brendan Gallagher on a 4-game point streak coming in. Outlets for Montreal. Merrill outside his right circle, swept it along. Gaudreau trying to clear it out. Second try, forces the issue, carries ahead and finds Marcus Foligno, scoops in from center. And on the forecheck goes Ryan Hartman, beaten to the puck though by Lane Hudson. Hudson, a second-round pick in 2022, is really energized the Canadiens' faithful, Tom, because of his ability to skate and offensive-minded play, just 20 years of age. But boy, he's been a nice player in his rookie season.
Yeah, you're absolutely right, and that's what you're looking for. This is a very young team also, Joe. When you look at their average age of the Montreal Canadiens, they're at 26.2 years of age, which is one of the youngest teams in the league.
They got a young head coach, too, and Marty St. Louis, of course, and he talked about that today. Young team still trying to find sort of learn how to win, Tom, and that's important for a group with a lot of youngsters.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And of course, Marty, not a very big guy, but he knew how to play. He played 1,134 games in the NHL with 1,033 points.
Nick Suzuki steals for the Canadiens, starts the rush ahead 3-on-2 with Kirby Dach, sweeping it back to Suzuki. Marcus Johansson chasing him down. Suzuki wheels it off. A pass by Dach finds Matheson shaking along the blue line. His wrister hit a body, and Joel Eriksson picks it up for Minnesota, slipping it to the right wing side for Marcus Johansson. Johansson charges deep into the Canadian zone. Matheson turned it over. Eriksson try to force it back to Johansson. The Canadiens are there. And Jake Evans bangs it off the boards and safely through center. Spurgeon whips it to the left side for Declan Chisholm. Chisholm lofts it in just above the red line. Just still the one shot for both teams. And that's Minnesota's chance. As Tom mentioned, they came in from long range and was just knocked away by Montembeault. Almost 6 minutes gone by in the first. Spurgeon back to retrieve a puck. Chisholm had some trouble with it as Evans pressured. Jake Evans now to Cole Caulfield. Caulfield feeds the point. It's sent along to Savard into the high slot for a tip that ricocheted around. It's grabbed by Caulfield and plays it back up top to David Savard. Now Hudson. Hudson shaking and firing a shot that hit a body and never got through. Chisholm to it. Peels it free for Marco Rossi. Rossi just kind of lost the puck, but it did get out the center. Now a quick break back in, and unable to control pass was Alex Newhook. The Wild come out of this situation unscathed. They'll wind it ahead. Kaprizov trying to step free. He's got a bit of a lane right side. Kaprizov, a little spin move, couldn't get a shot through. Newhook on the back check picks up the loose puck.
Exciting, you watch Kaprizov out there, and he's one of those guys that I can feel myself coming out of the seat when he got that puck. I thought he was going to take the backhand shot, but failed to do so.
6:40 gone by in the first. No score. Again, still just the one shot. There's a long drive by the Canadiens. Is kicked away by Gustafson. That should be the first shot of the night for Montreal. So both teams with a center ice opportunity. Not much trouble for either netminder so far. Husnadinov tries to walk his way in. Deeper to the right wing corner goes Murat Husnadinov. Now off the Yakov Trenyon, who spun off a hit. He'll center. Lauko feeds the point. Merrill with a shot. It went just wide. Canadiens have it. And they'll carry ahead with Jaden Struble. Struble weaves it along the boards. Under 13 minutes to go in the opening period. Gone a few minutes here without a whistle. Both teams okay with that. Everybody able to get in. Both coaches rolling their lines here. Bogosian scales one ahead. Matheson waits for the bouncing puck near the red line. Plucks it up ice. Comes in on Gustafson. He'll just salt it away with pressure bearing in. 12:21 to go in the first. No score.
Yeah, you hear somebody hollering icing, and I wasn't quite sure they're going to call it icing, but they did not, I don't believe, and that's going to keep the faceoff deep in the Minnesota zone.
And they will not have the TV timeout here because the Canadiens played it from their half of the red line, and Gustafson covered it up and got a whistle.
Now, you look at the Montreal Canadiens in the 16 games they've played, they've gone 5-9-2 with 12 points this year, but they're a negative 21 on the goals for goals against department, and that does not sit well. But as I said before, this is a young team, and they've got some growing pains they're going to go through, and this is one of those years they're going to have those pains.
Canadians have given up 4.13 goals against per game, most of the NHL. Special teams have been okay. As Tom said, 5-on-5, some struggles. They have the lowest 5-on-5 save percentage in the NHL, 32nd ranked out of 32 teams. Hartman leaves it back. Faber's got a lane right circle. Shot rebound for Hartman, and Montembeault made a left pad save sliding across. Canadians come up ice with big Josh Anderson. Center, he's got a man open. Goalie denied! Left arm save by Gustafsson. So each team with a good-looking chance after it went several minutes without either team really having a scoring bid at all. Freddie Gaudreau hacks at a puck. It stays in play, or that would have been delay game. And as it bounced down, Foligno angled it out to center.
Freddie Gaudreau got caught napping a little bit, and that allowed the Canadians to come right in the offensive zone and get a shot away. He was watching the puck instead of watching what's coming from behind him with speed.
Under 11 and a half minutes now to go in the first. Canadians sweep it along, looking for Kirby Dach. Chisholm was there. Up to Eriksson, back to Spurgeon, and lifted along left side. Marcus Johansson whips it in. Montembeault with his goal stick, put it in no man's land. The Wild pressure causing some havoc here. Nick Suzuki, bothered by Matt Boldy. Suzuki weaves it off his end boards. David Savard on his backhand cleared it along. Good hit by Foligno as Slavkovsky tries to cut through the Wild slot. He was poke checked. It's barely kept in for a moment. Now Eriksson trying to speed to this loose puck, but Savard is there first. Boldy follows it up. Matt Boldy works his way back out the center with some pressure coming in, and he lost it. Suzuki feeds Juraj Slavkovsky. Slavkovsky goes to the left wing board, spiked it down low. Kirby Dach now for Montreal. Dach looking for Slavkovsky, and he couldn't handle it, and Eriksson curls it out to center.
Yeah, good play by Eriksson. Just get the puck down the ice, and that allows Minnesota to get some fresh players back on the ice. We've got 10:20 to go here in period number 1. Shots are 3-2 in favor of Minnesota. No goals.
Slavkovsky, of course, the former number 1 overall pick from 2022. He's second on the team in hits, the young campaign. 10:16 to go in the first. Icing on Montreal. Still no score. And the shots are 3-2 Minnesota.
Well, attention to our season ticket members. Once again, we're rewarding you for listening all season long. So get ready to earn those forever reward points. Enter the code BRAVE. That's BRAVE. Perfect on Military Appreciation Night. You'll receive 100 bonus points in your account. That offer will end at midnight tomorrow.
Marco Rossi holds in for Minnesota. We're back to live action. Zuccarello finds the weak help of Middleton. Now Kaprizov trying to center, and that was just jabbed away. So there's that activating kind of weak side defense there from Jake Middleton. But the Wild couldn't get a shot through.
And there's a guy who's playing with a lot of confidence right now in this game. Middleton, a big body, but boy, he's getting some points. And look what he's been able to accomplish for Minnesota this year. It's been absolutely terrific. Middleton now with a plus 13, which is tied for third in the NHL.
Kaprizov finds Brock Faber trying to cut out in front. He was slowed down, taken at the end glass. Tom, one thing I love about Jake Middleton, I'm not surprised by this at all, but if he has a game that's not to his standards, and the media talks to him afterwards, he's the first one to say, hey, I wasn't good tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he owns it, and he knows that. And there's a lot of players that, they don't want to hear the negative part of it. But if you're not playing well, you understand exactly you're not playing well. But Middleton has been so good for this hockey club, and certainly this year has been terrific.
What did Tom Reed tell the reporters after a rough outing?
Oh, I would just tell them where the oranges in the pop machine was.
Stay on their good side.
Yeah, it's totally different today than it was back then. And for the most part,
might have a newspaper clipping or two that you didn't like reading. That's about it.
Yeah, you actually didn't read much of the paper. We did not read a lot of the papers. We didn't always agree with it.
Struble left point for the Canadians. At the offensive blue line, worked it free. It ends up in the corner. Here's Emil Heineman turning and rolling it around behind the Wild net. Canadians trying to cycle here in the offensive zone. Condada to the point. Xhekaj a drive. He can really shoot it. Blocked out in front by Husnudinov. 8.5 minutes left in the first. It comes to the point. Josh Anderson, a long shot. That trickled down in front off a body. Spurgeon rescues it and skies out the center. Lauko hoping for it. Sea of white swarming him. Wild hustle off on a change as the Canadians regroup. Here's Brendan Gallagher, 32 years of age. Feels like he's been on Montreal forever. Bogosian pops it back of his net. Merrill just stashed it right back to Zach Bogosian, who headmans. Foligno rips it rink wide, and Goudreau saunters it into the right wing corner. Ryan Hartman wins the foot race. Look for Foligno. It jammed him a bit, and the Canadiens have it. Hudson up to Gallagher, and this play is offside. Our first TV timeout comes with 7:45 to go in the first. No score from St. Paul. The Wild and the Canadiens. You're listening to Wild Hockey, presented by XL Energy.
Quiet your mind, reduce your stress, and rest easy with channels designed to help you fall asleep easier and faster. Sink into the comforting white noise of a storm shower on Rainfall Radio. Fade out to the soothing sounds of the Sleep Channel, or drift off to nature sounds with Forest Dreams. Find them all in the Sirius XM app, included in all trials and popular plans. Just search Sleep.
The biggest plays.
What a save!
Hits.
Oh, a hard hit.
Goals.
McDavid scores!
Tune to NHL Network Radio for the most in-depth hockey talk on the planet.
He is the GM of the Minnesota Wild.
Insiders.
The revenues and the big business.
And the best analysis on the air.
Alex Ovechkin!
The NHL on Sirius XM.
Hear every team and your hometown call.
NHL Network Radio.
Sirius XM 91.
And on demand with the Sirius XM app.
Join me, Gord Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91.
The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind Ristolainen, walks in, put it between his legs, shoots it, scores!
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM.
Ray Hudson here with an important announcement. You can listen to your favourite Sirius XM FC shows on the all-new Sirius XM app, now available for all subscribers.
Sales.
No goals as of yet, but right now Minnesota leads in the shooting department. 3 shots by Minnesota, 1 on the other side. And congratulations to Brock Faber for playing his 100th game in the National Hockey League tonight. And boy, has he been a terrific player for Minnesota over the years he's been here. And I say years, hasn't been that many years. But
feels like
if you go back 2 years ago is when he started the last 2 games of the season after he left college hockey, played his first 2 games, and then last year was a terrific year for him.
5th in average time on ice coming in for the Maple Grove native Brock Faber. Right wing corner, right on cue. Faber's got the puck, absorbed ahead as he got to Zuccarello, and now Jake Middleton leads the rush up ice. Kicks it back, Kaprizov outside the left circle, feeds the trailer Zuccarello. Down low, Kaprizov trying to quickly throw it in front. That was blocked. Rossi and Slavkovsky come together. Now Nick Suzuki from Montreal, stripped by Rossi, cutting out right side. He'll find the late help, Middleton. Right back to Rossi, now at the point. Faber a shot, and that hit Zuccarello in the midsection, and he's hurt. Friendly fire.
He is still down. You know, as I said before the game, Joe, talking to a couple of reporters up here, the fact that Minnesota's been very fortunate. They've been pretty healthy all season long, but right now, Zuccarello going down, and he's bent over as he gets some assistance from John Worley, the athletic therapist here.
Wondering if that knocked the wind out of him. Hopefully it didn't hit him somewhere worse than that.
Yeah.
Because Zuccarello jumped, and that wrist shot by Faber caught him in a very prone position.
And of course those pucks are frozen solid, like a rock. I've said that time and time again. They're not fun when they find those pucks have a way to find openings sometimes. I don't know how they do it, but they have little eyes. And they say, let's move over here, take the shot right here. So that's going to bring the face-off. I believe it's going to be right at center ice.
Canadiens bench was not happy that play was blown dead while Montreal had the puck, but I think the official was concerned for Zuccarello's well-being, to say the least. So.
Yeah, and that's a subjective call too by the official. If they think there's a serious injury, you have to blow it right away.
Zuccarello did go down the tunnel back to the Wild dressing room, or at least out of our eyesight down the tunnel on the Wild bench as we're back to live action. Johansson pressures on the forecheck, staples his man to the glass. Boldy follows it up and comes away with the puck. Matt Boldy on the right wing corner. Fires it rink wide. It skips free, though, for Jake Evans, and Evans will play it ahead for Cole Caulfield. Time for first in the NHL, coming in with 12 goals. Changed his number After his good friend Johnny Gaudreau tragically passed away, Caulfield used to wear 22. Now he wears 13 in honor of Gaudreau. Eriksson Ek drives in front of the net. Couldn't get a good shot off. Eriksson Ek battles to stuff one up top. Johansson sent it along Middleton, a dry block. Canadians lead the league in blocks per game. At just under 19 per contest, you could say, well, they don't have the puck much, so they've got to get in more shot lanes than most teams. But regardless, they still are tops in the league. Both teams change on the fly just over 6 minutes to go in the first. 4 shots for the Wild, 1 for the Canadians. Trenyon past some trouble after a loose puck deep into Montreal ice. Jacques leans on him. Now Hustadinov digs one free. Right point Spurgeon, D-to-D. It's Chisholm shooting one. That hit a body and glanced wide. Kandata angles it ahead, and Yoel Armia gains the red line. Tried to punch it in. Spurgeon batted it down. Found Chisholm. Quickly up for a tip-in by Trenyon. Montembeault out with his goal stick. Swoops it along, Armia left side. Canadians have allowed 22 first-period goals. Tied for second most in the NHL. Colorado has allowed the most first-period goals against. But, of course, some teams have played a different number of games than others. Big hit by Trenyon on a big boy in Xhekaj. Arber Xhekaj now.
Yeah, he is a big boy, 6'4", 240 pounds.
Feed it along. Struble launches it ahead. Christian Dvorak left it back for Josh Anderson to play behind the Wild net. Boldy, right side at his own hash marks. Good up ice pass Kaprizov, and he drew himself offside, trying to handle that feed and not lose any speed. And a timeout on the ice. Still no score late in the first. You're listening to Wild Hockey, presented by XL Energy.
Wild fans, score up to $2,600 in tax credits when you upgrade your home comfort system by purchasing a qualifying Bryant Evolution heating and cooling system. And with a 10-year replacement warranty from Bryant, you'll have peace of mind for a decade. Contact your local Bryant dealer and ask about tax credits, local rebates, and financing available for qualified buyers. Visit Bryant.com for more details. Bryant, whatever it takes, official heating and cooling company of the Minnesota Wild.
Getting the care you need when you need it should be simple. At Health Partners in Park Nicollet, our clinics, hospitals, and specialties are all connected to give you a streamlined experience. That's because our system-wide health record ensures everyone on your care team is on the same page. And every day we're offering more ways to make it easier to get great care. Like virtual visits, hybrid preventive care, online scheduling, mobile check-in, Save My Spot for urgent care, and more. Visit healthpartners.com/wild today.
Central Division scoreboard.
10 games tonight in the National Hockey League. 20 of the 32 teams are in action, including 6 of 8 from the Central Division. And how about this? The Winnipeg Jets are one of them. Tonight they skate in Tampa with their fancy 15-1 overall record. They're 7-0 on the road. Right now the Lightning hold a 3-1 lead. 6:33 left to go in the second, so still lots of time left. But the Lightning trying to do something to the Jets that not many teams have been able to do this season. That's it for now. Back to Joe and Tom.
Yeah, interesting, Joe. When you look at what Winnipeg has accomplished this year, I mean, absolutely terrific. In 16 games, they won 15 to 16, 30 points already, and they're a team to be reckoned with, obviously.
One footnote, they started Eric Comrie in net, not Connor Hellebuck. I noticed that in the press room when the game was on. Not trying to take a shot here at Eric Comrie. Everything I've heard, he's a great kid. He's not Connor Hellebuck. Might be the old scheduled loss for the Jets. They can afford a few of those, starting 15-1.
Yeah, no one expected that. Well, good for them.
Best start in NHL history.
Yeah, absolutely.
Crazy, especially after what the Bruins did 2 years ago when they rewrote a lot of the regular season record books.
Yeah, Minnesota's had their best start in franchise history as well in those 15 games they played, going 10-2-3 with 23 points, and they're 14 more goals than they have given up in those 15 games.
Tom, that's what you call a professional segue. Well done.
Talking about
5:03 to go in the first. No score here from St. Paul. Wild from right to left on your radio dial.
You know how much more fun it is this year, Joe, compared to last year? How difficult it was. You try and make it sound good, and sometimes it's hard. But this team has really played well collectively. But it's a long season yet.
I've often said, and you know this better than I, that a lot of times the game kind of calls itself, right? If it's a good one, it's easy on us.
Yeah.
If we're trying to put lipstick on it, it could be a little bit more difficult. 4:38 to go in the first. Puck ends up on the Wild bench and back down onto the ice.
Well, the forecast is calling for a Wild Whiteout on November the 30th. All fans in attendance will receive a Wild Whiteout t-shirt presented by FanDuel Sports Network and Toyota. Buy tickets today at wild.com. Runs an organization called United Heroes.
Formerly defending the blue line. Shot blocked by Foligno. Minnesota comes up with the puck. Brock Faber off to Ryan Hartman. He'll dump it in from center ice. Zach Halver, center engineer in the Al Shaver press box, noting that Jules Erikssonek has now gone down the tunnel for Minnesota. So that bench is really thinned out, Tom. When you look at the Canadiens bench, you're shoulder to shoulder. Look at the Wild bench, there's a lot of room there.
Well, I said earlier before this game started, Minnesota's been very good health-wise, but all of a sudden now you have two key players not on there, 36, of course, and 14. So a little bit juggling. This is where the coaches have to work that much harder now, trying to find the combinations you're going to have there, going to have that chemistry together.
Goudreau and Newhook on the face-off. Freddie Goudreau out of Bromont, Quebec, wins it back. Faber's long shot block, and it kicks out the center. Jake Middleton on a reset finds Goudreau, wristing it in from the neutral zone to let Hartman try to chase it down. Savard around to Hudson. Goudreau tried to take away the pass from Newhook. Faber keeps the line, skying it where it's gloved by Montembeault as he reached up over his crossbar and hangs on. 3:54 to go in the first. Another break in the action. You're listening to Wild Hockey presented by XL Energy.
Wild fans, score up to $2,600 in tax credits when you upgrade your home comfort system by purchasing a qualifying Bryant Evolution heating and cooling system. And with a 10-year replacement warranty from Bryant, you'll have peace of mind for a decade. Contact your local Bryant dealer and ask about tax credits, local rebates, and financing available for qualified buyers. Visit Bryant.com for more details. Bryant, whatever it takes, official heating and cooling company of the Minnesota Wild. As the official partner of the Minnesota Wild, Enterprise is ready to go that extra mile. We're dedicated to the most dedicated fans in the game. And with us on your team, you can move forward with confidence, knowing we've got your back. We're always available with mobility solutions, whether you need a rental, replacement, truck, or even tailored business strategies. At Enterprise, your goal is our goal, and we're ready with the assist.
The Royal Golf Club is the Twin Cities' newest private club and the official golf club of the Minnesota Wild. Designed by legends Arnold Palmer and Annika Sorenstam, the Royal Golf Club features an 18-hole championship golfing experience along with world-class dining and club amenities. The Royal Golf Club, located just minutes from downtown St. Paul, blends a unique private club sophistication within a relaxed, natural setting. If you'd like more information about Royal Golf Club and limited membership offers, please visit RoyalClubMN.com today.
Not a lot of shots in this game. No goals yet. Minnesota's had 4 shots out of the 5 that have been taken. The Montreal Canadiens just 1 shot. Well, recognize Small Business Saturday with the Made in Minnesota ticket pack featuring the sleek, durable UDAS Go Pack. Locally made, waterproof, and ready for action. Learn more at wild.com/UGO. Check it out.
Kaprizov with Boldy and Johansson. Middleton and Faber. Offensive zone draw for the Wild to the left of Montembeault. Off the draw, stashed ahead by the Canadiens and knocked out to center ice by Nick Suzuki. Suzuki checked by Faber. Middleton over to grab the puck. Bounced it free for Boldy. Spikes it along Kaprizov. Trying to get around Mike Matheson. Kaprizov shot down by Matheson. Crowd looking for a call, none coming.
Well, Matheson, big body, also 6'2", 196, and just uses his body well to take him down.
Matheson now shoves one around his end wall. Caden Gooley wrapped up by Kaprizov. Gooley for Slavkovsky. Between the legs pass, and here's Nick Suzuki, who had 4 points Monday, and that 7-5 win. He leads the team with 17 on the season. Suzuki here outside the right circle. Sends it to the left wing boards. Jaden Struble attacks. Struble in with a side angle shot blocked. And Faber collects it for the Wild. Carries ahead. Brock Faber just spears it in from the neutral zone. Montembeault with his goal stick. Ran in some trouble. Nearly gave it away to Boldy. And the Canadiens settle things down with Matheson just handing it off as he goes for a change.
And the longer this game goes without any goals, the more confidence you're going to have with the Montreal Canadiens. Here's a team that's been around for a long time, going back to, 107, 108 years now in the NHL.
Wild play one off the left wing boards and down the ice, and an icing call here as Jack Guy wins the foot race. 2:36 to go in the first. No score.
I don't know how you got Jack out of that, but his last name is spelled X-H-E-K-A-J, out of Hamilton, Ontario. He's the first player in the National Hockey League to have his surname begin with the letter X. They said he had a slight frame as a youngster. Well, I'll tell you one thing. He's 6'4", 240 now, so that slight frame is gone.
What you call filling out your frame. Undrafted Arbor Jack Guy. Trenyon finds John Merrill off to Lauko. It's a Wild win the D-zone draw, come through center ice cleanly and wind it in. Struble now from Montreal off to Armia. Joel Armia. Pori Finland. Stumped in behind the Wild net. Merrill back, wrapped up there for a moment. Did well to free it up for Bogosian on a D-to-D reverse. And Zach Bogosian comes ahead and then plays one up ice for Hustadinov. Murat Hustadinov snapping one towards the slot. Lauko couldn't get a piece of it. It rims out the center where Chisholm pounds it back in as the Wild clear the line.
Well, I was watching Lauko, John. What an acceleration he has almost from a stop position. He can really take off.
And John Hines has talked about that time. His first couple strides almost sneaky quick. Gets from 0 to 60 if you will in a hurry.
Yep.
Savard to Hudson. Hudson a shot. That's in the belly of Gustafsson. Just a second Montreal shot with just under 100 seconds left now in the opening period.
Yeah. Marc-Andre Fleury is having a birthday coming up here November the 28th, where he's going to be 40 years of age, the oldest player in the NHL. But boy, he doesn't play like the oldest player. He's been absolutely terrific, and I'm saying that so that he doesn't pull any pranks on me.
Yeah, it's a good job. We'll make sure he gets word.
I think I'm okay.
Goudreau on the face-off for Minnesota. Christian Dvorak, who won 10 of 17 draws Monday, is now thrown from the circle. Josh Anderson in to take it. He's their team leader in hits. He scored Monday in their win. They had 7 players with multiple points in that 7-5 win Monday, ending a 6-game winless skid. Wild in on the forecheck. Hartman came up with it. And now it is Goudreau outside the left circle. Freddie Goudreau spins, angles down low, stops at the hash mark. Played one of the point Chisholm. Sweeps it along to Spurgeon. Steering it free Marcus Foligno. And he was slowed down by Hudson. Hudson comes up with the puck. Lane Hudson behind the back, drop past Dvorak. Left it off Gallagher. Shot blocked. Chisholm blocked it. Didn't know where it went. It ended up to his left. Canadians find it. Hudson into the corner. Dvorak. Back up top to Hudson. Hudson pivots. Waits. Angles one to the back post. Nobody there. Final minute of the first. Dvorak now holds in. Spurgeon blocked his feed. And Ryan Hartman gets it ahead for Marcus Foligno. Curls back by the Wild bench. Finds Spurgeon. Flopped along for Chisholm, who hits the red line and rifles it in. Final 40 seconds now in the opening period. Just 6 total shots. No score. Kaprizov trying to dig it free. Can't. Caulfield away from the pressure of Boldy, where it's lobbed ahead. Middleton comes up with it. And Middleton able to go D to D and then take a return pass from Brock Faber. Middleton's feed up ice. Rossi trying to swat it in, and they say the Wild in early. It's offside.
Ooh, that was very close. I didn't think it was outside, but not my call. They got the whistle. I don't. Well, celebrate No Shave November with us on November the 30th with a Movember ticket pack presented by Security Financial. The package includes an exclusive soda stick beanie and an on-ice photo with Jake Middleton, the captain of Movember. Buy tickets today at wild.com/mustache. So he could say that mustache off, and a week later it's right back where it was before.
Almost like a costume for him.
I know.
10 seconds left in the period.
Good job by a guy playing with confidence. He's one of those.
Kaprizov carried in right side. His shot was blocked. It comes back to him. We'll try to angle him along to Boldy. Boldy protects, and the horn sounds. So, not much for either side in the opening period. And we're scoreless after 20 between the Wild and the Canadiens.
Yeah, not a lot of shots also. Minnesota won over 4 shots, 2 shots by the Montreal Canadiens, and they'll go to the locker room so they can regroup and get ready for period number 2.
The Wild had scored a first period goal in each of their first 4 games on home ice. But now in back-to-back home games, nothing on the board through 20 minutes for Minnesota. Shane Hudella, United Heroes League, will join Tom Reed coming up. Plus a recap of all the action. No score, the Wild and the Canadiens after 20. You're listening to Wild Hockey, presented by XL Energy.
Sports Grid Radio on Sirius XM has you covered this college football season.
The Tennessee Volunteers take on the Georgia Bulldogs in a massive SEC matchup to keep playoff hopes alive. The Vols haven't beat the Bulldogs since 2016 and are 9-point underdogs against Georgia this weekend. Can they pull off the upset and the cover? Make sure you tune into Sports Grid Radio to stay up to date on all the latest.
The place to get the winning edge over the sports books this football season is Sports Grid Radio, channel 159 in the car and on the Sirius XM app.
NHL Morning Skate.
Tampa Bay Lightning General Manager Julian Brisebois.
Can you tell us something about Nikita Kucherov, the player, the person?
He puts so much time working at his craft. He is looking to improve every little detail of his game, of his skill set. You know, he gets rewarded by being an all-time great player, and we get rewarded by having one of the best players in the world on our team every night.
NHL Morning Skate with Scott Laughlin and Gord Steller. Weekdays 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app. 24/7 hockey talk.
Kevin Cheveldayoff, Winnipeg Jets. What the heck's with this Kyle Connor? I'm curious what you saw and how it's evolved.
His offensive instinct, really just top end. It's just been one of those guys that, play me with this guy, okay. Play me with that guy, okay. In these last couple of years, he's learned to have the layer of the defensive structure as well. That's just made him a much more complete player.
Sirius XM, NHL Network Radio.
Sirius XM 91.
And on your schedule with the Sirius XM app.
The best player analysts and insiders live on NHL Network Radio. Mike Ropp.
With the Leafs, the fact that they're trying to change some things has made me not make it so life and death every day for this team. In the past, it was like, this is who we are, and then you see the matchups and it's not working out, and you're like, why are things not changing? Well, things are changing right now, and it's going to take some time to get all the way there.
Get the latest opinion and analysis you need on the home of hockey, NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91, and the Sirius XM app. The biggest plays.
What a save!
Hits.
Hard hit.
Goals.
McDavid scores!
Tune to NHL Network Radio for the most in-depth hockey talk on the planet.
He is the GM of the Minnesota Wild. Insiders.
The revenues and the big business.
And the best analysis on the air.
Alex Ovechkin!
The NHL on Sirius XM.
Hear every team and your hometown call.
NHL Network Radio.
Sirius XM 91.
And on demand with the Sirius XM app.
Score!
Under review.
And nobody in Winnipeg wants to say it, but I'll say it. Connor Hellebuck did not play the level he's capable of in the playoffs. That's a big part of the equation. Connor can play better. He's one of the best goalies in the league. The Jets have been told by everybody, but me, I want that noted, I got this one right, that everyone said they're going to take a step back.
Under review
with Mick Kern.
11 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio.
Sirius XM 91 and the Sirius XM app.
Welcome back to St. Paul, the XL Energy Center. After one period of play, no goals as of yet, and only 6 shots, 4 of those coming off the sticks of the Minnesota Wild. I'm Tom Reed. Please be joined with Shane Hudella of United Heroes. And I guess, first of all, Shane, congratulations on Let's Play Hockey. You nailed it perfectly.
Hey, thanks, Tom. I went a little off script, but it was great. Yeah, honored to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I'm glad you're here. And, of course, this is a Military Appreciation Night, and you spent your time in the military as well.
Yeah, exciting night. I served for 24 years, had that honor from 1988 to 2012. Got lucky, started a nonprofit that took off that lets me stay connected with the military even after retirement.
Yeah, it started with Defending the Blue Line, which is more in the hockey circles, but all of a sudden now you've expanded out with United Heroes. And tell us a little bit what United Heroes can do.
Sure. Started off as Defending the Blue Line, you're right, back in the Bernsey-Bugard era, and away we went, and all of a sudden we started to explode as guys got traded around the league. We decided in 2015, we had a couple of professional baseball players come to us and say, hey, this is super cool, we'd like to get involved and help you do it in baseball. So we rebranded, became United Heroes League, and now we help military kids and veterans play the game they love. And we do that by providing free head-to-toe equipment for them, cash grants for the kids of up to $500 per child. Hockey's an expensive sport. I've got 4 boys that were all goaltenders. So it's tough for military families that typically your sergeant in the military that's on active duty is making about $34,000 a year. So pretty tough to put kids through sports on that kind of income. That's where we step in and say, hey, we can help out with equipment, we can help out with grants. We have a lot of pro hockey ambassadors that will come out and skate with the kids or do different camps and experiential things with them, meet the families, especially if mom or dad are gone and the kids are struggling. And then we do ticketing and big nights like tonight. So we've got a bunch of amazing military veterans and their kids right here at XL Energy Center tonight to celebrate Military Appreciation Night.
Yeah, and as you know, I've been to your location many times down in Hastings, and it's a great facility. But all this equipment, it's new equipment too. It's not used or it's not exchanged or anything. It's just kids come in and they pick what they want and they get it for free.
It's like Christmas every day at our warehouse. Any given day, we'll have $2.5 to $3 million worth of hockey equipment on hand. It's all free, just as a thanks for their service. So we'll typically see 5 to 10 families a day that come down to Hastings. They'll travel from as far away as the Canadian border. We've had military come from Chippewa Falls, Wisconsin, to come through the warehouse. But we also ship it to every state in the nation, Canadian Forces members in Canada, and we've shipped equipment to 14 other countries around the world wherever military families are. So it's super cool and fun, and the kids' eyes just light up when they come in.
Obviously, when you have sponsorships also and people help you, like the National Hockey League, the National Hockey Players Association, the Minnesota Wild, when groups like that get behind it, it makes it so much easier too, because they see the good that you do for the families of the military kids, and all of a sudden now they're getting a chance to branch out a little bit and have something fun in their life.
Yeah, it's incredible the amount of synergy between the hockey community and the military community. Just tremendous mutual respect on both sides, and we've been very lucky to have tremendous support from the Minnesota Wild, who are our first big team partner, the NHL Players Association through our ambassadors and their Goals and Dreams program. Now we're working on some big things with the NHL League office in New York to help be a part of the league's first league-wide military initiative.
And that's great. And of course, tell us a little bit about your location down in Hastings, because I know it's not just the equipment. You've got a rink, outdoor rink, beautiful outdoor rink. You've got obstacle courses. I mean, the kids enjoy. I mean, it's exciting.
You've known me for a while, Tommy. You know I get a lot of crazy ideas. I decided back when we were rebranding in 2015 that I wanted to build the nation's first sports complex specifically for military kids and veterans. So we built one of the state's largest veterans monuments. We built an outdoor military obstacle course. And then just last year, we opened a brand new state-of-the-art refrigerated outdoor rink that just exploded in popularity. So it's been really fun. The development continues. We started now on the locker room building and bleachers next to the rink, and it sounds like by Thanksgiving the walls will be up on this building already.
Yeah, you've done an awful lot, and I've been down there numerous times, as you know, and trying to support you, and even from our restaurant, and it's great to see the reaction of kids when they walk in and they see all that equipment, and they, do I get to keep this? Is this for me? And the kids are just ecstatic, and you see it every day.
Yeah, it's I get to be Santa Claus every day. I've got the best job in the world, and even tonight, the Wild provided a suite for us tonight, and we've got this super cute little military daughter. It's her first ever Wild game. She came in the suite, and just as the guys were coming out for warm-ups, and she just lost her mind. She was jumping up and down, and just to see all the happiness and in her dad's face, who's a career Air Force guy. He's been stationed in Florida his whole career, but his mom, who lives here in Minnesota, has cancer. So he's back here for 3 years on a 3-year tour, helping care for his mom as well as his own family.
I appreciate everything. How do people get in touch with United Heroes?
Sure. Go out to our website. It's give uhl.org. You can volunteer, you can donate equipment, check out upcoming events. We've got Jake Middleton tomorrow down at Summit Brewing at the Rathskeller at 3 o'clock along with Justin Morneau. But hop on our website, follow us on social. We'd love to have even more support.
So where do you go from here? I mean, you're obviously you've spread out around the National Hockey. How many different teams are involved now with United Heroes?
So we have a relationship and do things pretty frequently with over half the league, maybe coming up on 20 teams or so. We actually haven't done anything with Montreal, our opponent tonight, but we are expanding into Canada more. We want to get in touch with Utah, the league's newest team. But it's just really exploding for us right now, which is amazing. I mean, we have military kids in every community across North America. Doesn't matter if it's a small town in Ohio or Toronto, Canada. There's kids and families that have served both countries in each of those communities. So the bigger we get, the more of those kids, 5 million total to be exact, that we can help.
Well, Shane Hodell is our guest here, of course, the guy who had the vision of United Heroes and helping military families. And thank you for being here, and thank you for what you have done, and thank you for your service.
Yeah, thank you, Tommy. Appreciate it. Great to be on.
All right, Kevin, let's go back to you.
Thank you, Tom, and thank you, Shane, for joining us in the intermission. Guess what? You get a gift certificate down to Tom Reed's Hockey City Pub. After one period of play in St. Paul, 0-0. We'll recap the first 20 minutes next. This is Wild Hockey, presented by XL Energy.
You have a plan for your business and a vision for its future. So it's important to have a banking partner that works to understand all of your goals and what it will take to help you reach them. Work with a banker who is dedicated to listening first and providing insightful, personalized advice that's right for you and your business. Work with Bremer Bank, because understanding is everything. Put us to work for you today at bremer.com.
Every day starts full of promise, excitement, opportunity, but at the same time, every day can also come with a lot of curveballs. This is where Daily Pay can help. If you work on the daily, you should see your money on the daily. Daily Pay allows you to access your earned wages before payday. So, what's stopping you from making the most of it? Of waking up today and making that move or seizing that moment? Take control of your finances and find out if your company offers Daily Pay. Visit us at get.dailypay.com.
As the official partner of the Minnesota Wild, Enterprise is ready to go that extra mile. We're dedicated to the most dedicated fans in the game. And with us on your team, you can move forward with confidence, knowing we've got your back. We're always available with mobility solutions, whether you need a rental, replacement, truck, or even tailored business strategies.
He scored!
At Enterprise, your goal is our goal, and we're ready with the assist.
No matter who you are or what you do, there's a Ford vehicle that can help you own the day. Make life on the go a walk in the park with the new Ford Explorer. Become the MVP of the work site with the unrivaled performance of a new built Ford Tough F-Series truck, the best-selling trucks in America. Or discover what it really means to adventure in the great outdoors with a new Bronco Sport. Whether it's for work or play, there's a Ford with a great deal waiting at your local Northland Ford dealers. Don't wait. Get behind the wheel of a new Ford today. Based on calendar year total sales.
Played hockey for 20 minutes. That's about all I can say about that first period. It's 0-0 after one period of play between the Canadiens and the Minnesota Wild. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. You're listening to Wild Hockey, presented by XL Energy.
Centers. Hockey comes alive. Sirius XM NHL Network Radio.
Won't get commentary like that anywhere else. The Wild outshot the Canadiens 4-2 in the opening frame. That means 2 first-period saves for the Gus Bus. Sam Montembeault for the Canadiens. Stopped all 4 that came his way. No penalties, no power plays, no killing penalties. 0-0 after one period of play. We're back with the second after a break. This is Wild Hockey, presented by XL Energy.
Getting the care you need when you need it should be simple. At Health Partners in Park Nicollet, our clinics, hospitals, and specialties are all connected to give you a streamlined experience. That's because our system-wide health record ensures everyone on your care team is on the same page. And every day, we're offering more ways to make it easier to get great care. Like virtual visits, hybrid preventive care, online scheduling, mobile check-in, Save My Spot for urgent care, and more. Visit healthpartners.com/wild today.
We just want to have enough money for retirement.
And travel to visit our grandchildren.
I understand. That's why at Fisher Investments, we start by getting to know each other, so I can learn about your family, lifestyle, goals and needs, allowing us to tailor your portfolio.
What about commission-based products?
We don't sell those. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in your best interest.
So how do your management fees work?
We have a simple management fee based on the value of your portfolio. So we do better when you do better.
We appreciate that kind of transparency.
We also check in with you regularly to keep you up to date on the markets and your portfolio.
Well, what other services do you offer?
As a client, you have access to resources on investing, financial planning, estate planning, Social Security, Medicare, and more.
Wow, sounds like Fisher Investments has everything we need.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Papa Roach.
This is my last resort. That's what she said. I don't hate.
With Rise Against, celebrating 25 years. Rise of the Roach Tour. Rockin' XL Energy Center on April 13th. With special guest, Under Oath. On sale now at Ticketmaster.com. Don't miss Papa Roach and Rise Against together on one epic night.
At Anderson, we understand the challenges of builders and contractors better than most. Here's proof from real pros.
The best service department is the one you don't need, right? But when you do, I know they're going to be there.
The 400 series has earned my trust to the point where we have put it in our own home.
When somebody says Anderson, everybody responds quality.
Helping builders and contractors craft their legacy. Anderson, the #1 trusted window and door brand. Claims based on 2022 Anderson brand surveys of U.S. contractors and builders.
There's only one thing better than going to a Minnesota Wild game, and for me, that's breakfast. My breakfast always has to include Thomas's. They've got the crispy, warm nooks and crannies of a Thomas's English muffin, or sometimes I'll go with a crunchy on the outside Thomas's bagel. For me, Thomas's is the best way to start my day, and it should be yours too. With over 130 years of breakfast under their belt, Thomas's is ready to bring your breakfast to another level, because with Thomas's, breakfast tastes better.
Second period from St. Paul. Joe O'Donnell, Tom Reed with you. The Wild and Canadiens scoreless after 20. Just 4 shots on 16 shot attempts for Minnesota in the first, but Canadiens had only 2 shots to their credit, Tom.
Yeah, and you look at right now the start of the second period, and I'm looking down there. I do not see number 14 of Minnesota, Joel Eriksson. He only played 3 minutes and 43 seconds, and I look at Matt Ciccarello, number 36. He's not down there either. He just played 3 minutes and 15 seconds. Those are 2 huge, important pieces of this Wild team.
Well, in part because if they can't return, and you would think the intermission would have probably given them enough time to get back if they were going to return, but again, that's just speculation. I mean, you got to play 2 forwards down for the next 2 periods right now as it looks. You know Kaprizov's ready for it, but a lot of guys going to be asked to pick up some minutes here.
Yeah, absolutely. And, of course, somebody has to pick up that slack. And it isn't done by just 1 or 2 guys. It's done by committee. Everybody has to be a little bit sharper.
Gustafsson has this puck in his glove. 23 seconds played in the second period. Wild from left to right on your radio dial. Canadiens from right to left.
Yeah, you look at the 5-on-5 also. Minnesota has their record 36 goals, giving up 21. They're plus 15. The Montreal Canadiens, they scored 30, but they've given up 47. They're negative 17. Of course, this is a team, as I said before, a very young team. They're in rebuilding mode. It's going to take a while. It doesn't happen overnight. And of course, they're coached as a guy who certainly has played the game well into over 1,000 games.
Shot blocked by Boldy, came free, but a penalty call.
And we're going to have a tripping call that's going to take place. And I believe it's going to be a... Well, no one's coming this way yet. Well, here they come.
Minnesota, number 23, 2-minute minor, tripping.
So Minnesota will be the first power play of the evening for any team, and that's going to go to the Montreal Canadiens as 23 Rossi is called on the tripping call. This coming at just 31 seconds into the second period. No goals as of yet.
Wild PK was 12 for 12 on the road trip in 3 games, helping them get up to 25th in the league at 75% on the button, 3 for 3 Sunday in Chicago. But at home, just 50%, 6 out of 12 on the penalty kill for the Wild. The Canadiens power play scored twice Monday. They're 9th in the league at 23.2% on the season. John Hines saying the Canadiens power play can score multiple ways on you. And I asked him this morning about what's allowed them to have success this year. And Marty St. Louis, the Canadiens head coach, talked about the confidence they're starting to gain. Feels like they can do a little more, they can execute a little bit better, but Marty St. Louis pretty pleased so far with the power play, says they've been opportunistic, and confidence-wise, we feel good about it, according to the Canadiens head coach.
Yeah, and I think also going into the season like this, they know it's going to be a tough year for them, but they're building something for the future, and as I said before, it takes 5-6 years to really turn things around when things aren't going well.
Caulfield left circle up top to Matheson. Matheson shakes with the puck and feeds it to Kirby Dach. Dach takes a look from the right wing hash marks. Lauko, Middleton, Bogosian, and Husnudinov on the PK to start for Minnesota. Caulfield, goal line, left side from his vantage point. Now Suzuki taking over there. Caulfield top the circle up top. Matheson a drive. Stopped by Gustafson. Rebound swept along by Bogosian. Lauko up ice for Minnesota, shorthanded. Throws up right wing boards and then just eats it in the corner. Halfway home on the Canadiens power play. Crowd recognizing the efforts there. Lauko, he pinned that puck up and ranked some time off the PK.
Yeah, Minnesota just has one shorthanded goal this year, and it was with Lauko scoring it.
New hook spins back. Canadiens finishing a change. Lane Hudson now onto the ice. He'll take a drop pass. Hudson running the second power play unit. Now Brendan Gallagher back off the Hudson right wing boards in the Wild zone. Swooped a pass into the corner and then took a return feed from Heineman. Hudson across the blue line. Left circle. Slavkovsky, coming out of the corner there was Armia. Shot goes wide. Newhook to Gather. Alex Newhook, bottom of the right circle. Surveys up top for Hudson. Lane Hudson shakes it along Armia. Left circle has a lane and a shot right in the chest of Philip Gustafson.
Yeah, watching Minnesota defensemen also. Watching Merrill out there doing a good job of just boxing the guys out, getting himself in position, looking for a shot coming his way. But here's a guy that is that guy that will be the, I don't want to say seventh defenseman. Minnesota has 7 guys who can play defense, but Merrill's got some experience, no question about it, getting a shot to play here tonight. And for Merrill, of course, that's a big plus for him. It's not much fun when you're a veteran player and you're sitting in the sideline, but he is certainly stepping up in this game.
John Merrill at 11 points. It was an even rating last season for Minnesota. And in and out of the lineup, depending on the health of the fellow defenseman, but certainly, as Tom said, not looked at like a 7th defenseman by the Wild coaching staff. Penalty kill is over. Wild get out of it successfully. Boldy carries over the blue line right side, a little self-chip. Spins it back, late help coming. Kaprizov fired a shot. Montembeau the save, and he's on top of it for a whistle.
Yeah, Montreal had 2 shots with a man advantage out there, but no cigar with that one. Well, Minnesota's beloved high school hockey series returns with Dream State Shakopee, presented by TRIA. Get exclusive access to Shakopee's rising hockey program from puck drop to hockey day and beyond. Starting February the 2025, learn more at wild.com/dreamstate.
Dream State won an Emmy for last year's production. Yep. Congrats to Matt Hussey and the Wild digital team. Caden Gooley behind his own net, punches one around. Bogosian holds in. Boldy right side had a stick lifted by Caulfield. And it's moved out to center ice. Kaprizov tips back in. Gooley carries around his own net, fired off the board, just gave it away. Boldy, though, bothered immediately by Caulfield. Rossi tries to keep the line. Caulfield looking to knock it out, and it's nudged safely through center. The Wild regroup, slam it back in. Here goes Kaprizov, looking for Boldy. Back off into the corner for Kaprizov, but Gooley was there to tip it away. And now Newhook darts up ice for Montreal, leaves it back. Cole Caulfield spun it behind his back. Gooley activates from the left point. Gooley just gives it up. Newhook finds Caulfield for a long drive right in the shin pads of Boldy. And Middleton off to Bogosian, and now a left wing back pass Kaprizov. One touching to Rossi, that didn't leave the zone. Canadian steal in the slot. Newhook, step one down low. Ricocheted off the pad of Gustafson, and Bogosian flicks it ahead where Boldy all by himself fires a long wristers. He bails out on a change.
Yeah, Minnesota got caught a little bit on the defensive part of things, just a little bit slow in getting the puck out of the zone, and as a result, that allowed the Canadiens a little more time in the offensive area.
Struble, the Cumberland, Rhode Island native, sends it in for Montreal. Canadiens dig it free, but as they sweep it back to the point, it leaks all the way back into their zone. Montembeault, the former Panthers draft pick, out to play it. Canadiens nearly give it away. Doc trying to force the issue. And now it is Suzuki. The charge ahead. Suzuki looking for Kirby Doc. Nothing there. They go behind the net of Gustafson where Spurgeon tied up his man. And Marcus Johansson leaks it ahead. Foligno finds the weak side D. Spurgeon. Back across the green. It's Johansson. Handing it off. Foligno, a high riser. And it's trapped and held onto by Montembeault.
Yeah, good shot by Foligno coming off that left side also. Gets the shot right to the goaltender. Is able to grab onto it, and that'll keep the face-off deep in the Montreal zone. Montreal, as I said earlier, 24 Stanley Cups. But the last one they had was in 1994. I remember I helped them win some of those cups way back when. Jacques Lemieux, I think, had 11 Stanley Cup rings.
Amazing.
Can I just pour a couple of them?
The last Canadian team to win it, of course, the Canadiens.
Yep.
A bit of a drought for the province north, or the country north. All those provinces with NHL teams are dying. I feel like in some ways, Tom, you know better than me, as icing here in Montreal. There's a little bit of the fan bases. They're like, okay, Edmonton's in the final last year. It'd be nice if Canada wins, but you're not going to go all out rooting probably for the Oilers if you're, say, a Leafs fan. But right. you want the country to hoist the cup again.
Well, yeah, the Canadiens would like to see that, but it's been a long time since that's happened. And when it's going to happen, I'm not quite sure. I thought last year was a good opportunity for them with Edmonton, but unfortunately they come up just a little bit short.
Off the draw, Boldy behind the Canadiens' net. Wrapped up, squeezes free. Middleton pinches in, will rim it around the boards. Good plays. Faber's waiting for it. Right side, Faber shot towards the slot. Pinball around. Boldy rescues it. Back at the point, Faber. Faber back off to Boldy. Curling, trying to separate. Matt Boldy, right circle, one to cut in front. Canadiens defense denying that pass, so it comes back to the blue line for Middleton. Shifted along for Kaprizov, and it rolls out the center. Well, the Wild trying to cycle there, but the Canadiens defending very well, keeping everything to the outside.
Yeah, they're playing with confidence. Winning that last game against Buffalo, the big score that they had, also gives them a much better chance. And just the way they played this game so far, they feel much more confident in their game.
Wild have it again in the offensive zone. Spurgeon, a drive tipped in front by Boldy. Don't think it ever got through to Montembeault, and it's spiked back the other way by the visitors. And Marty St. Louis talking about their commitment defensively, and the buy-in has helped them compete. Not where they want to be, of course, at 5-9-2 on the season. But again, talked about the youth in their team trying to learn how to win. So it all starts with the defense, and you can't sacrifice good defense to get your offense going. Matheson, left point for the Canadiens. Takes a look, fires a shot, glanced around in front. Rossi handles it and smashes it off the glass. Ryakov Trennin picks it up. Trennin knifes it in. Wild finishing a line change. Matheson smacked one rink wide. It's grabbed nicely and carried ahead by Newhook. Newhook, the former Colorado Avalanche draft pick, with a shot that's blocked to the corner. Alex Newhook now to the point. Struble, a shot that hit a body, goes straight up into the air. Gustafson peers to his right as Dvorak labels it to the point. Jackeye floats it right back into the corner. Canadiens trying to work it free. Trenyon steals a centering pass and lobs it safely out the center. Montreal turns it over in the neutral zone. And now they're back on it as Arbor Jackeye feeds it along. Newhook paddles it down low, hoping for Jake Evans. Merrill crunches him into the corner. Now it is Caulfield playing it up top. Struble skates across the blue line. Struble with a shot, blockered away by Gustafson. Jackeye to the rebound. Trying to stay with him, Trenyon. Jackeye got dumped. Got back up. Played it rink wide. Caulfield trying to get away from John Merrill. Caulfield to Strubles, got some room right circle, a shot. Gustafson to save, and the rebound played out to center ice by Minnesota, but they need a line change.
Yeah, they do right now. Montreal's done a nice job of moving their feet also, getting some opportunities in the second period. A lot of the play has been in the Minnesota defensive zone.
Canadians already with 5 second period shots. They had just 2 in the first. Shots are now 7-7 with almost 8 minutes played in period 2. Joe O'Donnell, Tom Reed with you. Wild from left to right on your radio dial here in the second in a scoreless game. Wild are 7-1-0 against the Eastern Conference this year. Canadians have only played one other Central Division team. That was St. Louis, and they won that game. Caulfield, offensive zone near the blue line right side, fires a long shot, glanced off Gustafson's stick, angled into the corner. Hudson picks it up. Hustadinov bumped into him, but Lane Hudson stole the puck. A nice toe drag move, came out with a shot. Blocker saved Gustafson. As Hudson looking for his first NHL goal. He's got it again right side. Boy, it feels like the Wild haven't had the puck in eternity. Finally, Foligno able to just tackle Hudson, get away with it, and get the puck out the center.
Well, you look at Montreal, Joe, look how well they're skating right now, too, and as a result of that, a lot of the play has been in the Minnesota area.
In the neutral zone, Canadians flip one along. It ends up behind the net of Philip Gustafson. John Merrill, D to D, Bogosian just scoops it ahead and out the center. Well handled by Hartman, right into the wheelhouse of Freddie Gaudreau. Gaudreau dropped it back. Johansson centers. Hartman a shot, and the one-timer swallowed up by Montembeault.
Yeah, good shot by Hartman right on the net line. You can see Freddie Gaudreau coming from the side there, but there's no rebound to be had.
11:09 to go in period 2. No score in St. Paul. You're listening to Wild Hockey, presented by XL Energy.
Every NFL Sunday, you'll hear all the big plays on SiriusXM NFL Radio's Sunday Drive.
Touchdown, Buffalo!
Follow the entire league without changing the channel.
Chiefs are in the red zone. Let's go out to Kansas City.
Plus, fantasy football updates and post-game interviews.
From Baltimore, tight end Mark Andrews.
The Sunday Drive brings you closer to the NFL. Sundays noon to 8 Eastern on NFL Radio Channel 88 in the car and on the SiriusXM app.
The biggest plays.
What a save!
Hits.
Oh, hard hit.
Goals.
McDavid scores!
Tune to NHL Network Radio for the most in-depth hockey talk on the planet.
He is the GM of the Minnesota Wild.
Insiders.
The revenues and the big business.
And the best analysis on the air.
Alex Ovechkin!
The NHL on SiriusXM. Hear every team and your hometown call. NHL Network Radio. SiriusXM 91. And on demand with the SiriusXM app.
Score!
Join me, Gord Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91.
The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind Ristolainen, walks in, put it between his legs, shoots it, score!
NHL play-by-play on SiriusXM. The best hockey lives here.
Burns gets it back, stick handles to the backhand, moves in front, score!
NHL play-by-play on SiriusXM.
11:09 remaining here in period number 2. No goals as of yet. Shots are even at 8 apiece, but the Montreal Canadiens they've come to play. There's no question about it. They want to get that couple of points here. Minnesota's got to put a little more pressure on there. Still, we have not heard anything on number 14, Jules-Eric Necker, 36, Zuccarello. We don't know what the extent of the injuries are, but there's a lot of empty space on that Minnesota bench right now. Right now, the face-off deep in the Montreal zone. The right of the Montreal netminder.
Boldy, Kaprizov, Johansson, Middleton, and Faber. Wild win the draw. It comes the way of Faber outside the right circle into the corner for Kaprizov, who would roll around the net. He'll connect with Marcus Johansson, who spins back of the cage. Left wing corner, Johansson. Checked there by Condata. Canadians are onto it. Gooley and Matheson. And Matheson able to go back to Caden Gooley. Cuts through his own slot, rifles a pass ahead. Jake Evans tipping it along. Middleton grabs it, smack it off the glass. It got past Gooley. Numbers here for the Wild. A 2-on-1. Kaprizov, right circle with Johansson. Kaprizov, a backdoor pass. And it was blocked and chiseled out the center.
Yeah, I think everybody wanted him to shoot the puck there, but there wasn't a very good angle coming in there. It's not a bad play, but unfortunately it wasn't executed the way he wanted.
Canadians launch one ahead. It deflects in, so no ice. Gustafson to Faber. Center breakout, or shaded towards the inner half of the right circle, I should say, was Boldy. He'll give it back to Faber. Once more for Boldy, who tries to carry over the blue line. and this play is offside.
Yeah, watching Boldy, also a very gifted individual. He seems to know what's around him all the time. Had good puck possession by number 12 of Minnesota, who's having a banner year. Well, there's still time to join the season ticket member family. Start with a Flex membership. You customize your plan and experience the Wild your way. Learn more today at wild.com/season.
Anderson and Goudreau on the draw. 5-on-5 action. Wild win it back. Chisholm from the red line. Try to shoot it in. Tips. Ends up right in the lap of Marc-Andre Fleury. Who gives that souvenir into the crowd.
Will he get credit for a save or not?
He'd probably like one to add to that historic total that he's got going.
Yeah, what a career he has had. He said this would be his last year, but I never quite believed that.
Yeah, you've kind of been on that fence a little bit, haven't you? That you think that the itch might stay there for him.
I think he just loves to play. I think he just wants to be a part of it.
So Wild PR, MN Wild PR on Twitter, I refuse to call it anything else, says Zuccarello and Eriksson both out for the game with a lower body injury.
Oh boy.
So the Wild, halfway home in regulation, know that they've got to go the distance with a depleted bench. A lot of ice time for a lot of bodies, including Marcus Foligno, who starts to break out ahead. Hartman a little chip and chase. Montembeault with his goal stick. Snaps it along out the center. Good play there by Montembeault as he finds Christian Dvorak, who goes rink wide. But Dvorak then crossed the line early, and the Canadiens are offside. 9:24 left in the second period. Still scoreless in St. Paul. You're listening to Wild Hockey, presented by XL Energy.
So, after you lift weights, your body keeps burning calories for hours post-workout.
Oh, like a BMO Savings Builder account.
What?
With BMO, I can get a reward every month I save.
So, you're getting an extra reward for the work you've already done?
Exactly. Plus, BMO gave me a cash bonus when I opened a checking account.
That's a flex.
This is a flex. Check out these pythons.
Pump up your savings with BMO. Conditions apply. Learn more at BMO.com/kickstart. Accounts are subject to approval and are provided in the United States by BMO Bank N.A. Member FDIC.
BMO.
When disaster strikes your commercial or multifamily property, every second counts. That's why property managers and business owners trust Clean Response. Clean Response is the Midwest premier provider of comprehensive water damage and fire damage restoration services. Our expert team is available 24/7 to minimize disruption and help restore your property after loss. With decades of experience and cutting-edge technology, we handle everything from small incidents to large-scale emergencies. Visit cleanresponse.com or call 651-646-3408 to learn more. Scoreboard update.
Well, the Lightning are holding on at home against the Jets. They lead 3-1 with 12 minutes left to go in regulation. Gensel, Cirelli, and Hagel are the goal scorers for the Lightning. Again, the Jets have lost just one time this season, and they haven't lost at all on the road. The Lightning trying to do something very few have done. Devils up 5-2 in Sunrise, taking on the Panthers. 11:41 left to go in that one. Rangers lead the Sharks 3-1. Blues up 3-2 against the Sabres in Buffalo. And in Dallas, the Stars lead the Bruins 2-1 with 13:22 left to go in the middle frame. That's it. Back to Joe and Tom.
And in this one, we got nobody leading right now. No goals as of yet. The 17 shots, 9 of those coming off the stick of the Wild, 8 from the visitors, the Montreal Canadiens. Face-off is going to be in the neutralized area just in front of the penalty box area, just outside Minnesota's defensive zone. Doors are closed. The rink attendants doing a good job of getting that extra snow off the ice. Makes the puck slide a little bit easier.
Wild have played 7 straight games where they haven't outshot their opposition in period number 2. Haven't had a lot of shots for either side in this one as Hudson walks in, fans on his bid. Spurgeon knocked it away from trouble. Now Trenyon. Unless something changes dramatically, Tom, get the sense this is one of those games where neither team wants to make that costly mistake or take a penalty that's going to put them at a disadvantage.
Well, I think especially in the Minnesota side, they don't want to give up one to the Canadiens. You can see what they can do. There's no question they are playing with a lot of gusto right now, and they just feel they have to choose skating. Montreal's always been known as a good skating hockey club over the years.
And John Hines talked about that today. The Wild head coach saying they're a quick strike team, the Canadiens. As Hartman curls in a dangerous spot and knifed one along too far for Lauko. As the line juggling has to continue for John Hines and his staff because the Wild are down Eric Sinek and Zuccarello, and neither are expected back for the rest of this one. 8:37 to go in the second, still no score.
Yeah, that makes it a bit more difficult. You have 18 skaters, and all of a sudden you're down to 16, and two key players also out of the lineup. And you lose those two guys who give a lot of offense to this club. It puts the pressure on the rest of the guys.
Off the draw, Canadians have it. Matheson high slot, fired one, blocked by Lauko. Boy, he really wore that one in a tough spot. Comes back to Matheson. Now Caden Gooley. He'll survey. Knocking one towards Slavkovsky, and his backhander missed by a mile. Left wing boards, Lauko tied up. Spurgeon tried to step to it. It's rimmed around by Montreal. Chisholm couldn't gather it cleanly, and now finally the Wild start up with Hartman. Just flopping it softly off the right wing boards, making the Canadians turn and chase. Gooley back, reverse to Matheson. Now Kirby Dock to Slavkovsky. Good little play for Suzuki. He's got a full head of steam into the Wild zone. Found the late help coming. Gooley centered Slavkovsky, a backhander, and he didn't get much on it. And then going down hard was Hartman. Gustafson jumps on top of Slavkovsky. Play continues up ice. Boldy centers, Faber left circle. Trying to drop one in front. And it's a Canadians touch-up. Finally a whistle. And Juraj Slavkovsky drew the ire of Philip Gustafson, who we usually think is pretty mild-mannered, Tom Reed. He didn't like that.
No, he did not. I wonder if they're going to leave the net like that. It's off of its position, and actually almost facing the back boards now, backwards. You have to really bank it to get one in that net now. But is there no goalie interference?
So Hartman kind of collided with Slavkovsky, who hit the goalpost.
Yeah. It was Hartman who came in there, just looking at the replay.
But Gustafson didn't like it regardless.
Yeah. No penalties on the play, but the faceoff is going to be deep in the Montreal zone.
He went 2 for takedown there to Gustafson. He put him in an arm bar and just laid on top of him.
Yeah, and Gus he's not afraid to use the physical play that he's got. He's 6'2", 184 pounds. Boy, he's having a banner year right now. Faceoff is going to be deep in the Montreal area.
Got a big smile on his face. The TV monitor is showing that Philip Gustafson got a chuckle out of his own antics there.
Yeah, Minnesota's won 52% of the draw so far in this hockey game.
On the season, the Wild at 48.7%. Canadiens at 47.4% in the circle. Boldy escorted out. Johansson to take it. Kaprizov to his right. Middleton in favor of the defenseman. Tom said earlier, 100th career NHL game for Brock Faber. Left wing corner offensive zone off the draw. Johansson goes between the legs. Kaprizov blindly chucked it in front. Nothing there. Middleton held his own for a moment. Canadians pop it out to center ice. Dvorak reaching for it. He left it back too far for Hudson. The Wild here galloping ahead. Boldy jams on the brakes. Fired one that was tipped. Stopped by Montembeault. Kaprizov to the rebound. Left wing corner protecting center. Johansson the back post. They score!
Oh, what a play.
Matt Boldy on the beautiful passing play. And the Wild have taken a 1-0 lead.
Boy, Minnesota, good pass made right around that net. And that's where you have the quickness of the hands also. And Matt Boldy, how good he has been for Minnesota. 4 game-winning goals already this season. Leads the National Hockey League. But Minnesota got it in the offensive zone. And the things are, you want to get guys to the front of the net. But Minnesota just controlling the puck with Kaprizov once again. Makes the spinorama, gets the puck to the front. And Boldy's going to be the recipient of that one as he takes that pass and puts it away. And Minnesota's taking the first goal of this hockey game this coming at 12 minutes and 43 seconds of the first period on shot number 11.
Minnesota! 10th goal of the season for number 12, Matt Boldy. Assist to number 90, Marcus Johansson. And number 97, Kirill Kaprizov. Time of the goal, 12:43.
28 points for Kaprizov.
At 12:43.
And another even strength point. He's been terrific all season long, as he was all the years he's been here.
Armia carries in off a giveaway at center ice by Husnudinov, but Bogosian slowed him down, and the Wild take over. Here is Husnudinov. And a 2-on-2 as they hit the offensive blue line. They'll saunter it in. Montembeault out with his goal stick. Shrugged it along. Boudreau there. Back to the net now. Husnudinov. Bouncing one to Jakub Lauko. Lauko checked by Armia. Lauko able to fight through it. Jakub Kublauko for the Wild. Around the net of Montembeault from low to high. Spurgeon waits, took a shot, bounced wide. Hartman trying to grab it. Hartman dumped. Play continues. Nifty move by Chisholm at the blue line to hold in. Now Spurgeon right side, firing one at ricochet free. Chisholm a shot! And that's in the glove of Montembeault, hangs on.
But I've talked about Chisholm before, how mobile he is. He's got good feet out there, and you can see that in that last shift. Just he knows exactly what's happening on the ice. He has a good vision of what's around him, but he gets that shot away to the goaltender. Montembeault does a nice job once again just grabbing onto that one. Minnesota opening up the shot department a little bit now. Right now they've had 12 shots, 8 on the other side. But more importantly, Minnesota with a 1-goal lead. With Bolding's 10th of the year, Johansson gets the primary assist, number 3 in the year, and Kaprizov once again assist number 20.
12th time in 16 games the Wild have scored first, or 8-1-2 when getting the game's first marker. Canadiens do not have a win this year when they give up the first one. Here is Jake Evans down in the corner. Caulfield from an impossible angle hit the outside of the goalpost on a one-timer. Chisholm feeds Bolding. Frisbees it along, a touch too far for Johansson. And the Canadiens are back. It is Matheson around his own net, pressured by Johansson. Mike Matheson lugs it along. Matheson with the C parting a bit, dropped it off. New hook, a shot blocked by Spurgeon. Comes off the end wall, and Gustafsson careful to just pull it underneath him. And then some rough stuff. And meeting the minds back at the net, Tom.
Yeah, right now you don't want to take any unnecessary penalties.
And Johansson, well away from that scrum, is down on one knee and slow to his skates. Wild can ill afford to lose another player at this rate. 5:24 to go in the second period. Timeout on the ice. Matt Boldy has scored in back-to-back games. Points now in 5 of 7. His 10th of the year has given the Wild a 1-0 lead. You're listening to Wild Hockey, presented by XL Energy.
At CHS, we know what it takes to feed and fuel the world, to integrate a global ag and energy supply chain, to advocate for farmers in their fields and around the world, to build communities, invest in rural America, and empower rural economies. It takes courage, conviction, commitment. It takes the nation's leading farmer-owned cooperative. It takes a co-op. It takes CHS.
No matter who you are or what you do, there's a Ford vehicle that can help you own the day. Make life on the go a walk in the park with the new Ford Explorer. Become the MVP of the work site with the unrivaled performance of a new built Ford Tough F-Series truck, the best-selling trucks in America. Or discover what it really means to adventure in the great outdoors with the new Bronco Sport. Whether it's for work or play, there's a Ford with a great deal waiting at your local Northland Ford dealers. Don't wait. Get behind the wheel of a new Ford today. Based on calendar year total sales.
Getting the care you need when you need it should be simple. At Health Partners in Park Nicollet, our clinics, hospitals, and specialties are all connected to give you a streamlined experience. That's because our system-wide health record ensures everyone on your care team is on the same page. And every day we're offering more ways to make it easier to get great care. Like virtual visits, hybrid preventive care, online scheduling, mobile check-in, Save My Spot for urgent care, and more. Visit healthpartners.com/wild today.
5:24 to go here in period number 2. Shots are opening up a little bit. 12 Minnesota, 8 on the other side. More importantly, Minnesota is the only goal of this hockey. And Boldy, as Joe pointed out, his second in as many games. Getting a nice goal in Chicago tonight. But that is number 10 for Matt Boldy. And with that, he will get the assist going to Johansson and also to Kaprizov. So face off deep in the Minnesota zone.
Coming up at the second intermission, Kirill Kaprizov. And a conversation I was fortunate enough to have with him yesterday. It aired on KFAN Wild Weekly last night. Kevin Folis will replay it for you here tonight. The second intermission, the Wild's leading scorer and superstar. Talking about the early season success, chemistry with Zuccarello, and much more. Trenyon labels it in. It's a Wild look to go in on the forecheck here. Late stages, second period. Minnesota from left to right on your radio dial. Canadiens come ahead and force it in. Gustafsson to Faber. Nifty play to just sneak it loose. Lauko cuts up. And now Trenyon barreling over the offensive blue line. Left side, Yakov Trenyon. Looks to center for Hartman. Swiped away. Hudson tapped it ahead, and now eventually Suzuki with a pass slowed down by Middleton. Slavkovsky. Was taken off the puck. Bouncing puck in the Wild slot. Comes free. Doc waving at it. Ended up in a heat. Play continues. Matheson right point. Weaves along the blue line. Mike Matheson filters it free. Slavkovsky to Gooley. Gooley's shot angle wide intentionally. He's looking for somebody off the end wall. Nothing there. Lauko, though, stripped by Matheson. Lauko's dead tired. It's Matheson in left side, and he hammered it wide, and it'll bounce all the way back the other way.
Yeah, Lauko had his pocket picked on that one. Matheson doing a good job back to that defensive position.
Not saying he didn't know somebody was behind him, Tom, but if you're Lauko in that spot, you're dead tired. Like, does communication become paramount for somebody to be yelling that he's got pressure?
That's exactly right. You have to let your teammate know who's coming behind, because sometimes you can't see everything.
And the Wild down 2 forwards, Eriksson and Zuccarello, both out for the balance of this game. So from a Minnesota standpoint, a lot of guys might be gassed as this game moves along. Important for them to keep playing with the lead here.
Yeah, I'm just glad there's a day in between the next game with Dallas coming to town this weekend.
And thank goodness the Wild just had 3 days off. Bogosian taps off his end wall. Merrill out of the left wing corner. Fights it ahead. Goudreau pokes it a bit further. Icing waved off by the linesman as Boldy goes in on the forecheck. Montembeault played it past his pressure with his goal stick, and Hudson headmans. Heineman trying to dig it free against the Wild captain Jared Spurgeon. Johansson swept it behind his own net. Chisholm lays it along Kaprizov. Bottled up, loose puck. Gustafsson with his goal stick just wands it away from trouble. Kaprizov used the ice beneath him, cuts back of his own net, and then flops it along Chisholm. A bank pass, hoping for Johansson. Johansson over the offensive blue line. Through the middle of the ice, protected, left it off Kaprizov. All the way to the right circle, Spurgeon takes a look. Up top, middle of the ice, Chisholm back to Spurgeon, threw one in front, kick save, Montembeault. Boldy got a chunk of that offering. Kaprizov hacks it towards the slot, and Hudson comes up with it. 2:40 to go. Second period, Wild leading 1-0 over the Canadiens. Lane Hudson spun off a hit, center, Jake Evans, a shot blocked out in front by Spurgeon, not cleared. Xhekaj holds in. Arbor Xhekaj taking a look. Boldy's dead tired. Caulfield now taking the Xhekaj feed, and he lost it. Boldy at the end of a long shift weaves through center and lays it in.
Yeah, nice easy shot into the corner. That allows Minnesota to get first players on the ice all the way around.
Just over 2 minutes to go in the second. Labeled in by Xhekaj as he hit the center line. Jake Evans the first man to it. Middleton stripped it away. Newhook now from low to high. Xhekaj rink wide. Struble fanned on his shot. Goudreau lost his stick trying to defend. Husnudinov over to help out. Goudreau just tying it up along the boards. And the Canadiens emerge. Caulfield, bottom of the right circle, side angle shot. Gustafsson makes the save, and he hangs on.
Well, listen to the Wild no matter where you are across the state of hockey. In the Twin Cities, you can listen on KFAN. You can find a station near you at wild.com/radio, or you can download the official Minnesota Wild app at wild.com/app. And bring your radio along and listen without delay in the arena at 95.7 FM. I've talked to a number of people, Joe, who actually bring the radios and listen to the broadcast, which is real time.
Well, we should give them a shout out then.
Yep.
With a minute 49 left in the second period. Thanks for tuning in at XL Energy Center or wherever you may be. Canadiens win the draw. Right side, Slavkovsky up near the blue line and then just paddled it down low. Where Faber and Husnudinov closed. Doc had it for a moment. And now bursting ahead is Husnudinov. Marat Husnudinov. And eventually right side, Hartman over the blue line. Fired one in front. Husnudinov couldn't get a piece of it. Canadiens jab it out the center. Right back over the blue line comes Hartman right side. Twirled it around the boards. Wild changing. Nearly too many men on the ice. Officials deem it to be legal. And now the puck ends up in the Minnesota bench. And a whistle.
Yeah, Minnesota picking up the pace a little bit more so in the second period. Have the only goal, and that goal by Boldy once again. What a terrific year he is having for the Wild right now. Had 54 shots coming into this game in just his 14 games in play, but he had 7 game-winning goals last year. He's got 4 this year. He's got a total in his career of 18 game-winning goals.
Rossi and Dvorak on the neutral ice face-off with a minute 15 left in the second period. Wild in front 1-0. Minnesota wins the draw. Chisholm to Spurgeon, loads and golfs it in. Matheson back. Carves around his own net. Swoops one to Josh Anderson, who protects. Nearly lost it. He did. Kaprizov into the right wing corner for Marcus Foligno. Foligno around the net. of Montembeault. Back at the point, a drive by Chisholm, blocked. Foligno fell down for a moment, reached to try and keep it alive. Good effort by Foligno to keep the Wild in business, and then Rossi trying to come up with it. But Brendan Gallagher serves it out the center. Right back over the blue line comes Kaprizov trying to split the D. But Montreal jabbed it free. Foligno keeps in. Rossi into the corner right side. Kaprizov side angle shot. Rebound for Foligno. And it hit a body and careened wide.
My Minnesota's just crashing the net right now, trying to get something happen.
Chisholm behind the cage. It rolls around. Spurgeon pinching in. Off to Rossi covering. 22 seconds left in the frame. Cycled along Kaprizov. Left wing corner. Saucer pass hoping for Foligno. 15 to go in the period. Rossi hustles to the loose puck. Rossi up near the blue line. Played one rink wide. And it will skip out the center where Spurgeon pries it back in. 5 to go in the frame. That's pretty much going to do it for period 2. The Wild get the only goal so far. 12:43 of the second from Boldy. And Minnesota, after 40 minutes at home, a 1-0 lead over Montreal.
Yeah, you look at the shots in the second period, also 11 for Minnesota, 7 by the Montreal Canadiens. And you look at the total shots right now, 15-9 in favor of the home team. And the only goal by Boldy, with Johansson getting 1 assist and Kaprizov getting the other.
Just 9 Canadian shots through 40 minutes. And the Wild with a 1-0 advantage. Again, stick around for the conversation I had yesterday with Kirill Kaprizov. Hope you enjoy that, plus a recap of everything we've seen so far here in St. Paul. You're listening to Wild Hockey, presented by XL Energy.
This week on Let's Go with Bill Belichick, Max Crosby, Peter King, and me, Jim Gray.
Iron Mike Tyson. Mike, you're getting ready to fight again. This is a real fight against Jake Paul at 58 years of age?
My intentions are to hurt Jake Paul. I can't believe I'm at this state of my life right now where I'm ready to go in there and fight.
That number 58, it's only a number. It doesn't mean anything. My number doesn't mean anything either, so I just tend to ignore it.
Listen to the extended version of Let's Go, now available exclusively on the all-new SiriusXM app.
The biggest plays.
What a save!
Hits.
Oh, hard hit.
Goals.
McDavid scores!
Tune to NHL Network Radio for the most in-depth hockey talk on the planet.
He is the GM of the Minnesota Wild.
Insiders.
The revenues and the big business.
And the best analysis on the air.
Alex Ovechkin!
The NHL on SiriusXM. Hear every team and your hometown call. NHL Network Radio. SiriusXM 91. And on demand with the
Matt Boldy.
Take a sauna like every day and stuff like this. Just enjoy time.
The team's gotten off to a great start this season. That was a big focus coming into training camp. What's allowed you guys to have such early season success?
Yeah, I think we have a pretty good camp, pretty hard one, and we just I don't know. I feel like we just enjoy time now where we're now, you know, and just try to play in the game. Enjoying the moment, you know, like every day.
I read that you said to your teammates it wasn't that hard of a training camp. In Russia, it would have been much harder. Some of these guys thought it was a hard camp. What have been the
maybe it's here, maybe it's here. It's hard, but in Russia you usually have like so much harder, and because we have there like free practice in day, you know, and like 6 days in the week, you know. It's pretty hard, but here it was you come in the morning and you did the workout and skating and you
I want to talk about your desire to win for a minute. I know you don't get caught up in the points and the accolades, individual awards. Where does your desire to win start?
I don't know. I don't think about this, you know, because I just try playing my game and I see what happened, you know. And when you start, I feel like when you start thinking too much about points and all stuff like this, it's you should be can play not great, you know, after this. But I just don't focus on my points. I just try to play game, and then what happened will happen. You know.
How comfortable are you with Marco Rossi and Matt Zuccarello? How do you feel the line's playing right now?
It's always comfy. We play with Zuki like all my career here in Mini. We play together all the time, and we have Marco now. He's a great player. I feel like he's now older, and like every year he's go up, in his game, and he did a great job, and he's nice. Yeah.
How important has the solid defense and the great goaltending you guys have gotten this year been instrumental in the success?
Yeah, Gus and Flower play great this year, and I feel like maybe we learned a lot in the camp and in the first couple of games, like how we need to play in D zone, and stuff like this. And I feel everyone know what need to do, and we just tried a great job there, and try to score goals.
The homestand, you have Montreal, then Dallas, then back on the road. How much emphasis or how important will this homestand be for you guys to try and keep your game intact?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's especially we play a lot of games in a row early year, and we're happy to play in our building and our fans. It's always exciting, and it's fun because we like every game like a full rink. People coming and watching us, and we just try won these games, and that's it.
Away from the rink, do you watch much of the NHL? Do you follow what some of the other teams and players are doing?
Yeah, I watch sometimes highlights, but sometimes I watch games at home. Yeah, at nighttime, but not really.
With Dallas particularly coming in this weekend, they're a big rival. They got the better of you guys last season. How nice would it be to get a win against them in the first meeting this year?
Or we have first Montreal, but then Dallas. I just try focus on every game. Doesn't matter you play against who. You just it's NHL. Everyone can beat everyone. But especially Dallas. It's Saturday night, and it should be fun. Yeah, and I hope we can win this game.
Thanks for doing this. Keep up the good work.
Yeah, thank you.
One game at a time, Joe. That's what Kirill Kaprizov says. Tonight had a fancy assist. Set up the goal for Matt Boldy. Now 29 points for Kirill Kaprizov. One back of the NHL scoring lead held by Nate McKinnon. He's got 30 as of now, idle tonight. So Kirill Kaprizov climbing the stats once again. Wild lead 1-0 after 2 periods of play. We'll take a break, and then we're going to squeeze in a quick Tom Reed's hotline. Text in your questions, 64686. You could win a pair of tickets to Saturday's Central Division collision against the Dallas Stars. Tom Reed's hotline is next. This is Wild Hockey, presented by Xcel Energy.
Queen Bee's reign had just begun.
Big, Pac, Dre, and Jay were taking hip-hop to a whole new level.
It was all a dream. And everything was fly.
Sirius XM Fly.
A channel featuring hip-hop and R&B from the 90s and 2000s.
Throw it back now on Channel 50
and the Sirius XM app. The biggest plays.
What a save!
Hits.
Hard hit.
Goals.
McDavid scores!
Tune to NHL Network Radio for the most in-depth hockey talk on the planet.
He is the GM of the Minnesota Wild.
Insiders.
The revenues and the big business.
And the best analysis on the air.
Alex Ovechkin!
The NHL on Sirius XM. Hear every team and your hometown call. NHL Network Radio. Sirius XM 91. And on demand with the Sirius XM app.
The National Women's Soccer League Championship game is coming to SiriusXM. Hey, it's World Cup winner Heather O'Reilly of SiriusXM FC. Join Jessica Charman and me for the first national radio broadcast of the NWSL Final. That's right, Heather. We'll be taking you through every thrilling moment live from Kansas City. Join us as we make history at the 2024 NWSL Final on Saturday, November 23rd at 8 Eastern. And it's on SiriusXM FC channel 157 and streaming on the SiriusXM app.
Join me, Gord Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, Sirius XM 91.
The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind Ristolainen, walks in, put it between his legs, shoots it, scores!
NHL play-by-play on Sirius XM. The best hockey lives here.
Burns gets it back. Stick handles to the backhand. Moves in front. Score!
NHL play-by-play on SiriusXM.
I see.
It's time for Tom Reed's Hotline. Text in your comments or questions to 64686. You could win fabulous prizes, including dinner at Tom Reed's Hockey City Pub or wild tickets to a future game. And now, Tom Reed's Hotline.
Text them in 64686. This will be a quick one because we want to get you out to a pair of tickets to see the Wild and Stars on Saturday. So let's jump right into it, Tom. Aaron is listening in Hastings. Do you think the Wild have the depth to keep pace with a team like Winnipeg and potentially win the Central Division?
Well, you hope they do, Kevin. There's no doubt about it. But Minnesota's got to find a way. They're down two key players of this squad right now. So we'll find out how good the depth is if they have to bring up a couple players to make it work.
Jerry in St. Cloud wants to see more of that secondary scoring. Have you been happy and satisfied with what the team has been doing as a whole outside of Kirill Kaprizov in the first 15-plus games?
Well, I think you have to be. The fact they've only had two losses in regulation and two others in overtime speaks well of this hockey club. They played very well, but you lose two key components of it, and you just wonder where it's going to go.
How about the play by, I know Kaprizov set it up, but it was Marcus Johansson that fed the puck over to Matt Boldy. That was a thing of beauty.
It was, and the quickness of it also, but there's Boldy once again right by that blue paint area. That's where he is best suited.
One thing that'll make you bang your fist on the table more than anything. It used to be Matt Dumba. Now it's the face-offs. For the past number of years, that's been one thing that's really hurt the Wild. What have you thought about their face-off potential there when on the dot this season?
You know, either you have it or you don't have it. And right now, unfortunately, Minnesota doesn't have it. They got to find a way. But you put your best foot forward and put the guys in that position, especially in your own defensive zone.
From the 515 area code, I think that's down there in Iowa, and this person wants to know what you think about Marat Husnandinov. What do you thought about his first full season in the National Hockey League?
He's a rookie. He's still learning the game, but he's got good speed. He's not afraid to be physical also. I don't mean he's going to fight with somebody. He's not afraid to put his body in there to take some hits out there, but he's still learning how to the game. It's a work in progress, but I think he's been okay.
From the 952 area code, Tom, there's so many choices at your restaurant. Help a girl out. What's your favorite? At Tom Reed's Hockey City Pub.
The foam on the beer is really good.
I like it better when the bottom of the glass is facing north.
You know what's really interesting? We have a lot of Mexican cooks, and they're terrific. And our Mexican food is really, really good.
All right, that's a good tip. Thank you, Tom.
Thank you.
Jerry, you're going to see the Wild and Stars on Saturday night. If you want tickets you didn't win, we've got you set up. Wild.com/hockey tickets. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. You're listening to Wild Hockey, presented by XL Energy.
Hockey lives here.
Sagan to Ben, down low, delays, he scores!
Sirius XM NHL Network Radio.
In back-to-back games, he's got 8 in the last 11. His goal puts the Wild on top. They lead 1-0 over the Canadiens after 40 minutes of play. The third is next from St. Paul. This is Wild Hockey, presented by XL Energy.
At CHS, we know what it takes to feed and fuel the world, to integrate a global ag and energy supply chain, to advocate for farmers in their fields and around the world, to build communities, invest in rural America, and empower rural economies. It takes courage, conviction, commitment. It takes the nation's leading farmer-owned cooperative. It takes a co-op. It takes CHS.
No matter who you are or what you do, there's a Ford vehicle that can help you own the day. Make life on the go a walk in the park with the new Ford Explorer. Become the MVP of the work site with the unrivaled performance of a new built Ford Tough F-Series truck, the best-selling trucks in America. Or discover what it really means to adventure in the great outdoors with the new Bronco Sport. Whether it's for work or play, there's a Ford with a great deal waiting at your local Northland Ford dealers. Don't wait. Get behind the wheel of a new Ford today. Based on calendar year total sales.
Hey Wild fans, Minnesota-based and family-owned Old Dutch Foods has been creating taste sensations for generations of hometown Wild fans for over 90 years. Stock up on your favorite Old Dutch game day snacks at your local grocery stores to make game day a win. Old Dutch is a proud supporter of Wild hockey. Let's go Wild!
Old Dutch potato chips. Old Dutch, the snack
time will handle this final 20 minutes, especially without two of their key players. But they've done pretty good so far.
Wild from right to left on your radio dial in the third. Canadiens from left to right. 5-on-5 hockey to start period 3. Had just one penalty. That was Minnesota's Marco Rossi. The Canadiens have yet to take a minor. Middleton in his own blue line. Spears it along Faber. Picks his head up. Launches a pass ahead that's tipped by Foligno. Grabbing it, Hartman. Hartman stepping past Matheson. Tried to center. Bounced off a body. Matheson gloves it down. Rolls it along, and Caulfield will slide it back to Caden Gooley. 22-year-old Gooley checked by Foligno. Caulfield rescues the loose puck. Will Caulfield play for John Hines at the World Championships this past summer? John Hines talking about Caulfield's elusiveness and compete level, and asked by the local media about one of the Canadiens' top players. As the little knuckler comes in on Gustafson. No trouble there. He'll hang on. 58 seconds played in the third.
Yeah, one thing we haven't mentioned also is the Hall of Fame induction this past week, and a number of players. When you look at Shea Weber, Jeremy Roenick, Pavel Datsyuk, three of the top players in the National Hockey, Natalie Darwitz, Minnesota's own, being inducted into the NHL, or to the Hockey Hall of Fame in Toronto. Of course, he won the Professional Women's Hockey League last year, in the inaugural year. Of course, you got Coley Campbell, who's been around for a long time. David Poyle, a longtime member of the National Hockey League, as a general manager in Washington and also in Nashville. And Chrissy Wendell-Poole, Johnny Pole's wife, also another recipient of the Hall of Fame inductee.
Elmer Ferguson Award winner, Scott Burnside, spent some time with the Wild a couple years ago during their late season push and eventual playoff series against Dallas. He wrote for ESPN for an eternity and moved on to other ventures since then. So congrats to Scott Burnside as well.
Yeah, good guy. I spent quite a bit of time with him when he was up here covering the Wild at that time, and I was hoping that Minnesota would be able to get back into that position again, and he'd be able to come back up here. But maybe this year.
Minute and 50 seconds now gone by in the third period. Wild from right to left in the third with a 1-0 lead. Trenyon tries to stab it along. Lauko forces it out the center. 3 of the 5 times the Wild have not won in this young season, they have scored just 1 goal on the button, including Sunday. Obviously, the more you score, the better your chance. Captain Obvious joins the broadcast. Canadiens hold the line. They'll feed Struble for a one-timer. Gustafson kind of fought off awkwardly. The puck was sitting in a dangerous spot. Canadiens swerve to it. Dvorak checked by Rossi. Comes in front of the Wild cage. There's Faber to steal, and now Yakov Trenyon. Trenyon tips it along. Lauko gathering it deep in the Canadian zone. Checked by Struble. Trenyon looking to center. Blocked in front. Holding the line, Bogosian. A long wrister. Montembeau, the blocker, save. John Merrill picks up this loose puck. He'll drive one. That hit Trenyon, camped out in front, and the Canadiens will grab it. Yoel Armia rumbles ahead and feeds it up ice. It's worked deep into the Wild zone. Bogosian backcourt. Carved it off the left wing glass. Now Merrill stops a dumped-in puck. As Canadiens were just trying to force it deeper in the Wild zone. Matheson bottles up Kustadinov for a moment at center. Puck through the neutral zone. Gooley got it off left side. A wrister at the outside of the net. Trying to go stick side, short side there was Emil Heineman. Heineman now off a giveaway at center. Wild nearly had too many men on the ice. A pass for Condata. His long shot easily flicked away by the blocker of Gustafson. Merrill churns off a hit. And then one hands it along where Foligno absorbs some contact and pushed it middle of the ice for Ryan Hartman. To spin it back to Bogosian. Canadiens have started this third period on time, Tom. They've been turning up the heat in the Wild zone.
Yeah, they really have. I think they sense, obviously, Minnesota with two key players out here, so guys are getting more ice time, but they're getting a little more gassed also.
Boldy, a right circle snapper off a nifty blind pass by Kaprizov. Who else? But Montembeau makes the save.
Yeah, and it's interesting also, Joe, when you lose 2 players like that, all of a sudden you're getting called upon, especially the forwards, to have more ice time, and they're taking advantage of it. And as a result of that, they're feeling more comfortable also. It's better to be on the ice and being a part of it than sitting on the bench. But without the services of number 36, of course, Zuccarello, and without number 14, Jules-Eric Canek, for most of this hockey game, the guys have really stepped up to the pace that they're looking for.
Kaprizov played 14 minutes and 5 seconds in the first 2 periods alone.
But he can stand that. I mean, he's the type of guy that needs probably about 20 seconds to get the wind back and get ready for the next shift.
Canadiens working in the offensive end. Up top it comes. Hudson to Savard. Launched one wide past the far post. Penalty call coming. Boldy frustrated, and his former Team USA mate, Cole Caulfield, ended up in a heat.
Well, it looks like you may be calling the interference call. Everybody's looking around. Boldy's just kind of shaking his head. Are you kidding me?
Minnesota number 12, 2-minute minor interference.
Well, the door is closed.
Minor penalty. Minnesota number 12, Matt Boldy, 2 minutes interference.
Oh, he's coming back trying to box out the player from getting into that blue paint area. The player goes down, and the referee saw it as interference, so that is the call. And it comes at 4 minutes and 9 seconds of the third period with Minnesota leading 1-0.
Canadiens man advantage, 4 goals over the last 4 games, but they are 0 for 1 here tonight. Boldy is factored into the PK at times this season. He's in the box as Bogosian clears safely down off the one draw. 19 shots for Minnesota, 12 for Montreal. 1-0 the lead for the Wild as Matheson rumbles ahead and hands it back for Nick Suzuki. Quick pass right side. Kirby Dach's got some space. Dach in with a shot. Gustafsson the chest save. Rebound grab by Lauko, and he'll soar it up the middle of the ice and all the way down.
Well, Gus has been good for Minnesota once again. Not getting a lot of shots coming his way, but he's been very alert, very focused on what he has to do.
Matheson lugs it up. Drop pass for Nick Suzuki. Suzuki feeds it to Dach. Dach slowed down and forced out the center ice by Trenyon as he tried to keep the blue line. The Canadiens are offside.
And Minnesota reaching with those long sticks also. Trenyon does a good job of just forcing the puck out of the zone. Offside call made against the Canadiens. So back to the drawing board, and now Minnesota has won just 43% of the draws in this game, but it's in the neutral ice area, not so dangerous there.
Trenyon spears one ahead and out the center. Matheson back to grab it. 5 minutes gone by in the third. Mike Matheson, former Panthers draft pick, carries ahead, swings it all the way back to Suzuki out of London, Ontario. His pass for Caulfield, stolen by Faber. Faber muscled it free. Husadinov off the boards. Montembeault's got to come out to grab it because Trenyon was bearing in. Matheson now to Kirby Dach. Dach, the 3rd overall pick by Chicago in 2019. That a couple of years basically lost to injury. Played just 2 games last year, Tom. Canadiens glad to have number 77, Kirby Dach, back.
Yeah, and that's a problem with him also. Can he stay healthy? That's the biggest question you have with Dach. And right now he's only picked up 1 goal so far in the 16 games he's played.
Armé at the blue line. Swings it along. It's tossed to the point. Hudson shaking with it, steering it to Newhook, stolen. Hudson holds in on the failed clear by Middleton. Hudson across the blue line to Newhook. 15 to go in the power play. Back to the left point lane, Hudson. Foligno staying on him. Hudson rolls it along Armia. Left circle, back up top, Hudson. Taking a look, shaking with it. Back to Armia. He'll look. Back to Hudson, a one-timer. Stick save Gustafsson. May have hit some traffic in front. Not cleared by Foligno. Hudson to Newhook, and he fans on his one-timer. Comes off the end wall. Gustafsson tried to gobble it up. He couldn't. Penalty is over. And now some rough stuff. Lauko dumps a man. And everybody's got a partner. Brendan Gallagher, shocker, right in the mix of it for Montreal. All this with 13:44 to go in regulation. And Middleton now starting at the better of a Canadiens player in the corner. That was Emil Heineman.
Well, you got to answer the bell when it becomes physical. You got to step in there. That's exactly what Minnesota's done. And Minnesota able to kill off that penalty as Boldy was vacating that penalty box just as the play was being called with the reference in the corner. See, there's going to be penalties on the play.
Well, Lauko's already in the Wild box. Gallagher looks like he's joining him from Montreal's side. We'll sort it out when we come back. Timeout here in St. Paul. The Wild still have the game's only goal. Just under 14 minutes left in the third. You're listening to Wild Hockey, presented by XL Energy.
Kyler Murray is playing about as good as anybody right now and is entering the MVP conversation down the stretch.
When it happens in the NFL, we're reacting to it on Sirius XM NFL Radio.
This is a team that believes that they've got a chance to do something special with Russell Wilson.
Talking about the biggest stories all day.
Buffalo and Kansas City. The game is gigantic. This is a big deal.
From the field to the front office, nobody covers the game like Sirius XM NFL Radio. Channel 88.
The biggest plays.
What a save!
Hits.
Hard hit.
Goals.
McDavid scores!
Tune to NHL Network Radio for the most in-depth hockey talk on the planet.
He is the GM of the Minnesota Wild.
Insiders,
The revenues and the big business.
and the best analysis on the air.
Alex Ovechkin!
The NHL on Sirius XM. Hear every team and your hometown call. NHL Network Radio. Sirius XM 91. And on demand with the Sirius XM app.
The National Women's Soccer League Championship game is coming to SiriusXM. Hey, it's World Cup winner Heather O'Reilly of SiriusXM FC. Join Jessica Charman and me for the first national radio broadcast of the NWSL final. That's right, Heather. We'll be taking you through every thrilling moment live from Kansas City. Join us as we make history at the 2024 NWSL final on Saturday, November 23rd at 8 Eastern. And it's on SiriusXM FC channel 157 and streaming on the SiriusXM app.
Well, one penalty each side is going to be Gallagher called on the slashing call, and Lauco is going to get the penalty on the roughing call. So it'll be 4-on-4 hockey. These penalties coming at 6:16 of the third period. Minnesota leading by a score of 1-0. Right now, shots are 19-13 in favor of the Wild, and the face-off outside the defensive zone of Minnesota, right by the penalty box area.
Boldy, Kaprizov, Faber, and Middleton. Suzuki on the draw for Montreal. He guides it back. Hudson pressured. Ends up deep in the Montreal zone. Montembeault out with his goal stick. Went right up the middle of the ice. But he found Nick Suzuki, who got his first ever NHL goal against Minnesota. He's pressured here, and he loses the puck. Back on it is Caulfield, though, as the Canadiens reset. So 4-on-4 action. Matheson now over the blue line, stripped by Boldy. Kaprizov bursting ahead. Kaprizov got a partial break. He'll cut right circle, spinning up, and the pass for Boldy was out of stride. Canadiens have not scored a 4-on-4 goal yet this season. Neither of the Wild. Montreal has allowed one. Minnesota's not been dented yet. Here's Caulfield buying some space with a high slot. Shoulder save. Gustafsson calmly denying that bit.
Yeah, very calm. You're absolutely right, Johnny. He was just nice and square to it. Stayed on their skates. They would down and get help from his teammates.
Hudson and Slavkovsky for a shot. That's in the belly of Gustafsson. It'll hang on.
Well, we talked about the beginning of the year. What the most important position, obviously, is goaltending. If you don't have goaltending, you're not going to win games. And Gus and Flower together, Marc-Andre Fleury have done a good job so this year. And I would expect that as at the beginning of the year, talking about the fact that I would think that a guy like Gus would probably play 65 to 70% of the games. He's younger, although Flower can still play the game, no question about it.
Gustafsson came in fourth in the NHL in goals against average, tied for sixth in wins. Top 20 at 22 Sunday in that overtime loss in Chicago. Just a sixth home game for Minnesota tonight, coming in the fewest in the NHL, with just the 5 home games prior to this one. Johansson lumbers along for the Wild. Step past some pressure. Around the net goes Marcus Johansson. Floated a pass to Spurgeon. It was partially tipped. Spurgeon then goes right back to Johansson. Now Chisholm finds the captain Spurgeon. Off of the right circle for Marco Rossi. Rossi just takes the puck back out to center ice. 35 seconds left of 4-on-4 play. Spurgeon from Rossi. Spurgeon a little chip and chase. He'll center for Rossi as he crosses the blue line. Rossi hands it back. Late help coming Johansson. Now touched the way of Spurgeon on interchange. He'll set up a big drive. That came there off the tape at Chisholm, but was answered by Montembeault. And the Canadiens pushed the pace the other way with Jaden Struble. Clipped Spurgeon up high. Tried to step around the veteran. Spurgeon denied him, and he is leaking badly. Boy, Spurgeon, a trail of blood off the ice following him to the bench.
There's a penalty coming up, and that's going to be a double minor penalty because of the injury. Now it lost one of your top defensemen.
Spurgeon to the dressing room. Gustafsson to the bench for the extra attacker. Penalties are over now. And finally, the Canadiens touch up. So, there'll be a 4-minute penalty on Jaden Struble and the Wild to their first power play of the night.
Yep. Here's the call.
Montreal, number 47. 4-minute double minor, high sticking.
Boy, it's a triage, a mash unit for the Wild tonight, Tom.
It's just one of those things. And they're all key players. That's the whole thing. I mean, it's 3 of your top players.
And earlier in the game, they actually showed Jared's son, Zach, on the video board and gave him the old happy birthday message. He turned 15 today. And Jared's wife, Danielle, was sitting next to Zach. And I can only imagine from a family perspective when you see your dad, your husband, from their perspectives, get clipped like that, bleeding all over the place, what they can be thinking.
Yeah, well, they're used to it, though.
Yeah.
They're part of it, so...
Comes with the territory.
Your spouse, your girlfriend, whatever, you look down the ice and you hate to see somebody laying there. Gump Worsley used to say to his wife, he said, look, if I get hurt, I'm laying on my back. Well, Gump was always on his back with his arms outstretched and his leg like he's going to make a snowman. He told his wife, he said, look, Doreen, when I'm laying there, if you see me move my left foot, I'm okay. If I move my right foot, I'm hurt. If I don't move either one, I'm dead. Called the Undertaker. Well, that was Gump. So a face-off is going to be deep in the Montreal zone right now with 11:38 to go. Minnesota with the lead, 1-0. Shots 2015, but Minnesota, this is the first power play by Minnesota in this hockey game. And it's a 4-minute double minor penalty for the ice sticking.
Wild power play, 0 for 3 Sunday, 13th in the league coming in. Canadiens win the draw, and they'll laser it off the glass and all the way back through center. Montreal's PK is at 80.4%, 16th best. Their 7-5 win Monday in Buffalo. They gave up 1 goal in 4 tries. By the way, that game Monday, as the Wild are offside, had 5 game-tying goals. First time in the NHL this season, a game has featured 5 game-tying goals. It happened 3 times all of last year.
Yeah, Minnesota trying to get something going. They're 0 for 3 at Chicago. They had a power play goal in 2 of their last 7 games, just 2 out of 22. So Minnesota's power play has got to improve right now. They actually ranked 12th overall, but on home ice, they're ranked 22nd.
The only goal of this hockey game coming at 12:43 of the second. Boldy's 10th team leader in that category, even strength. Johansson and Kaprizov the assistants. Boldy splits the defense, dropped it off. Kaprizov a shot! And Montembeault made the save. Rebound grab by the Canadiens. They failed to get it out. Wild nearly gave it right back. And then getting knocked down was Johansson. No call. As he went tumbling down. Crowd unhappy. Hartman carries the other way. Now Kaprizov trying to feed one to Boldy. It was tapped away by big Josh Anderson. Anderson rumbles up ice. Short-handed. The Canadiens here for another 3:05 because of the double minor penalty. Montreal now just resets, playing a bit of keep away. Caden Gooley eventually sent it down. Look out, that sailed into the crowd. He was in his defensive zone. Wild with Hartman's got a stick in the air saying that should be a penalty. The linesman saying otherwise, and let's hope everybody's okay. As that puck was rifled into the stands to the right of Gustafsson from long range.
I thought that puck was going into the Minnesota bench. They hit somebody. They're all ducking over there. John Hines is behind the bench right now. He's had a good record with Minnesota. Done a nice job. Right from the start of training camp, he says it's going to be a hard camp. It certainly has been. And that physical play they had in training camp is certainly paying off for Minnesota now.
Canadiens bounce one out to the neutral zone. Big spot here, halfway home in the third. See if the Wild can extend their lead. Canadiens in 1-goal games are 2-0-2. All 9 of their regulation losses by 2 or more goals this year. Rossi digs one free on the forecheck. Now Foligno up top Chisholm. Hand it back Marcus Foligno, right circle. There's some players that don't usually get power play time out here because of the loss of Zuccarello and Eriksson Ek, of course. And now Spurgeon also back in the dressing room getting repairs. Rossi left side. Back to the blue line. Chisholm carves it along. Rossi a shot. Glove save Montembeault, and he hangs on.
Yeah, good shot by Rossi, though. Tried to get the front of the net. There's Freddy Gaudreau standing right in that blue paint area, but there's no rebound to be had. And so Minnesota gets a full contingent of fresh players on the ice. Still have 2 minutes and 14 seconds remaining in the power play time, barring other goals.
Jared Spurgeon is back on the Wild bench. Good eyes by Zach Halverson, our engineer here. Boy, he's been dialed in tonight. Tom, what's gotten into him?
It's his voice. We don't know it's him talking.
He must have been on some sort of long trip, we'll leave it at that, because he did lose his voice at some point on the Wild's road trip, apparently. Kaprizov carves one along. He wasn't with us, I can confirm that. Canadiens now intercept, they'll play it down.
Still plenty of time for Minnesota with a man advantage.
Down to just under a single minor now with Struble in the box. Kaprizov a drop pass. Boldy attack. Boldy trying to fight his way through. Left it in the right wing corner for Faber. They'll play it up to the left point. Kaprizov quickly dishes one to the right side. Johansson, a saucer pass. Reaching out to grab it, Ryan Hartman. Hartman onto the tape of Boldy. Now Faber. Back to Boldy. Outside the left circle. Shooting one. Tipped in front. Montembeault made the save. Johansson got a piece of that. Montembeault fought it off, and the Canadiens gallop ahead. Christian Dvorak short-handed, firing one towards the slot. It was batted around. Came back to Dvorak, whose little wrister kicked out by Gustafsson. And it's Kaprizov the other way from Minnesota. Along the right wing boards, Hartman centering for Boldy. Curls left side, tries to feed one towards Johansson, and now eventually it's Faber at center point. Swooping at the Boldy, he'll grab it off the left wing dasher and spike it around. Too hot to handle for Kaprizov, and it leaks back the other way.
I'm sure the guys right now in the green home team have got to be a little bit gassed being short two players for as much as they have been almost for the entire game at this point.
Spurgeon. Goudreau, and then Marco Rossi to chisel it in. 40 seconds left on the 4-minute power play. Spurgeon to Goudreau, tapped off. Rossi goes right back to Goudreau, bottom of the left circle with a sharp angle shot. Montembeault held the post to his right. Back to the blue line for Spurgeon, skating across the stripe. Jared Spurgeon, right point, loads, fires one. Blocker save Montembeault. Rossi to the carom. 20 to go in the power play. Center point Spurgeon. Hand it back to Marco Rossi, shooting. Blocked by David Savard. It comes the way of Rossi again. He'll refeed Spurgeon. Knocked back to Rossi, steered cross ice, Chisholm, quickly up top Spurgeon, again left circle Rossi, a toe drag move and a shot, he scores! Marco Rossi ripped it upstairs, it's a power play goal, and the Wild have a 2-0 lead.
And that comes with just 4 seconds remaining in the double minor that was created with a high stick with Spurgeon. He got cut and was still on the ice here for this power play. So that's a good job, and Marco Rossi does a terrific job. Remember, he picked up a penalty back in that first period, trying to atone for that. What better way than scoring a goal for Marco Rossi? That is a huge goal for this hockey club right now, and that is goal number 5 for him. That's his first power play goal of the season, and it comes at 12 minutes and 19 seconds of the third period. Minnesota leads 2-0.
Rossi had 3 points against the Canadiens last season in the 2 games. He's got 5 points now in 5 career games against Montreal. And a big insurance marker for Minnesota. Undermanned because of the injuries to Eriksson Ek and Zuccarello in this hockey game. They started without Jonas Brodin, of course. And now it's 2-0 in favor of the home side.
Minnesota on the power play. 5th goal of the season for number 23. Marco Rossi.
Penalty call here coming on the Wild.
By number 46, Jared Spurgeon. And number 47, Declan Chisholm. Time of the goal, 12:19.
7 minutes left. Montembeault to the bench for the extra attacker. Arm up from the official. Kirby Dach spins one around the Wild end wall. Centering pass by Montreal. Rattles around. It's touched by Faber. There's the whistle. And we'll see who the guilty party is.
Who's in lead off?
Here comes the referee.
Minnesota number 22, 2-minute minor, high sticking.
So, Husadinov to the box. Canadiens to the power play. 6:53 left. Wild lead 2-0 at home. You're listening to Wild Hockey, presented by XL Energy.
We are gathered here to... what's with the blanket?
Oh, it's my Securian blanket. It's an unsubtle metaphor for the security I feel knowing I have smart insurance and retirement solutions from Securian Financial.
I see. And, sir, do you also trust Securian Financial with your insurance and retirement solutions?
I do.
Prepare for your future. Talk to your employer, affinity group, or a financial professional to get started. Learn more at Securian.com.
Insurance issued by subsidiary companies. Securian Financial Services. Member FINRA.
At Anderson, we understand the challenges of builders and contractors better than most. Here's proof from real pros.
The best service department is the one you don't need, right? But when you do, I know they're going to be there.
The 400 series has earned my trust to the point where we have put it in our own home.
When somebody says Anderson, everybody responds quality.
Helping builders and contractors craft their legacy. Anderson, the #1 trusted window and door brand. Claims based on 2022 Anderson brand surveys of U.S. contractors and builders.
Scoreboard update. We got a final
Well, in Tampa Bay, the Lightning hand the Jets just their second loss of the season. Lightning 4, Jets 1. In Ottawa, the Flyers get an overtime victory over the Senators, and that's by Michkov, his first overtime winner. Flyers get the victory. Rangers slip past the Sharks 3-2 at MSG. Devils beat the Panthers 6-2 in Sunrise, Florida. Amongst the games in progress, how about those Dallas Stars? They'll be in here on Saturday, and looks like they're coming in with a victory. They lead the Bruins 6-2 in Dallas, looking for their 10th win of the season. Back to Joe and Tom.
And I would think that Dallas would come here. They're playing very well. They're one of the teams I picked that might be in the the top 4 at the end of the season here, the way things are going right now. But they're a very solid hockey club if they can stay healthy.
Off the draw, Canadiens win it. Matheson right through the high slot, rifled one high and wide. Under 7 minutes to go. Canadiens power play. Wild in front 2-0. Here's Caulfield. To the right wing hash mark Suzuki. Moves it up top, Matheson. Skates across the blue line, slides it back to Suzuki. He'll survey. Goal line pass. Slavkovsky back to Nick Suzuki. Penalty killers are Trenyon, Goudreau, Middleton, and Bogosian. Slavkovsky on the goal line. Back to Suzuki. Very methodical here. Now Suzuki again, carrying in, shooting one. Gustafsson a save. Rebound Bogosian. Fights it out through center ice, and unfortunately for the Wild, it ended up in their player bench.
Yeah, Minnesota's done a nice job positioning on this shorthand situation also. You look at the box out there, 4 corners, and just keep moving back and forth, putting himself in position. When they get the shot to the net, there is Gus to make the save. Still 121 in the penalty to Kuznetsov. He's in the box right now on that high sticking call. Face off deep in the Minnesota zone.
Canadiens on Monday won for the first time since late October. This is the end of a 4-game road trip for them. They're in a stretch of 7 of 9 on the road. They played at Buffalo on Monday. I'm assuming they went home until yesterday. Matheson squeezed one along, left side, Caulfield. Penalty kill to $1.05. Matheson at the point, fakes a drive. Goudreau, Foligno, Bogosian, and Middleton on the PK. Here's Mike Matheson in the right circle. Nick Suzuki a shot. Missed high and wide, short side. It clangs off the glass and goes out through center. Canadiens back to pick it up. 50 seconds from now. Hustadinov out of the box. Matheson to Kirby Dach. He was put in a tough spot on that pass. Lauko took it away. Weaved one out the center. Not much there. Canadiens come right back over the blue line. Dach, blind pass, but a good one. It comes to the right side, Slavkovsky. Watched by Foligno. Foligno starts to close, so Slavkovsky motored it along. Dach on the interchange, hands it to Matheson. He's got a lane, left circle. Down low, a centering feed. Nobody home, and Lauko out of midair slices it down the ice.
Good play by Lauko, helping out there in the PK. Got that speed, got a piece of puck. Not a hard shot, but gets it all the way down the ice. And gives up mid-4 fresh penalty killers from Minnesota.
David Savard lugs it ahead for the Canadiens, and this play offside with 11 seconds left on the power play. 5:04 on the clock in the third.
Well, you got momentum going into the offensive zone here. The offside call kind of nullifies things a little bit. Minnesota trying to capture the possession of the puck on the draw here. 5:04 to go here in the third. Minnesota with a 2-goal lead.
Wild win the draw back. Merrill paddles it ahead. Picking it up, Gooley. Gooley carries along, pushes it into the Wild zone. Back is Merrill, right circle, and he'll just label it out the center. Power play is over. And the Wild PK, good job tonight.
Yeah, it really was. And Merrill did a nice job of just taking a look to see the open ice, gets it all the way down.
Hustadinov chucked one in front, knocked away by Gooley. They'll find Brendan Gallagher. Gallagher into a sea of green, had a poke check free. Hustadinov tries to pin up Gooley. Gooley worked it loose. Armia off the dasher, got to it himself. Just throws it into the corner left of Gustafsson, where Merrill was able to wind it ahead. Not quite out yet. 4:20 to go in regulation. A battle along the blue line as the Wild trying to force this puck back to center. The logjam along the dasher. And finally, Trenyon does knock it ahead. 4:05 on the clock. Wild hustle off on a change. Hudson tried to carry along. He's dumped And Chisholm knocks it up ice. Kaprizov over the blue line, outside the right circle, between the legs, drop pass for a drive by Hartman, but it missiled wide. Boldy to the carom. Sorry, Tom.
Get two shots once again, Joe. You look at the pass he makes between the legs, right back to Hartman.
Boldy tried to rocket one around the boards that hit the referee. Eventually, Montreal onto it. Penalty call coming. Good job by Ryan Hartman that caused Lane Hudson to take an ill-advised call. Now it's center ice Josh Anderson trying to bait Hartman into an equalizer, and Hartman didn't take the bait, Tom.
No, get out of there. Don't take the penalty. You're going to have a power play here with 3:39 to go, and you have a 2-goal lead.
Here's the call.
Montreal over 48, 2 minutes for roughing.
Our final timeout of regulation. Wild in front 2-0. 3:39 left in St. Paul. You're listening to Wild Hockey, presented by XL Energy.
When disaster strikes your commercial or multifamily property, every second counts. That's why property managers and business owners trust Clean Response. Clean Response is the Midwest premier provider of comprehensive water damage and fire damage restoration services. Our expert team is available 24/7 to minimize disruption and help restore your property after loss. With decades of experience and cutting-edge technology, we handle everything from small incidents to large-scale emergencies. Visit cleanresponse.com or call 651-646-3408 to learn more.
Texas Spirit started with Tito's handmade vodka. Back in the 90s, we had a dream as big as our home state. With grit, determination, and heart, we broke ground on the first legal distillery in Texas. Today, at the center of the craft spirits movement, we're still Texas-made and Texan-owned. Our copper caps line shelves, and we fill glasses with the smoothest juice around. Remember, just because it looks like vodka doesn't mean it tastes like Tito's. 40% alcohol by volume, namely 80 proof, crafted to be savored responsibly.
Standing 6'2" and weighing in at over 200 pounds, wild forward Yakov Trenyan is known for playing a heavy game and going to the dirty areas. There is nothing soft about Yakov Trenyan. Nothing. No, seriously, I'm actually a little afraid of him.
Hey, Wild fans. This is Yakov Trenyan.
Not weird. Wild.
Join us on November 30th and wear your white Wild gear. Fans also receive an exclusive Wild Whiteout t-shirt. Quantities are limited. Buy your tickets at wild.com/game.
Well, Minnesota back in the power play. This would be their fourth opportunity. They are 1 for 3 on that power play goal by Rossi has given the team a 2-0 lead. Right now the face-off deep in the Montreal zone. 3:39 to go here in the third. Minnesota opening up on the shot clock once again, 27-17.
That goal by Rossi a few minutes back, a power play strike for the Wild. We'll see how Marty St. Louis wants to play this, with his team now shorthanded, down by a pair late in the third. When will he get Sam Montembeau to the bench? Johansson flicks one along for Faber. Wild from right to left on your radio dial. 3:20 to go. Boldy over the blue line. Kicked one to the left wing boards. Kaprizov slashed at. Cut around behind the net. Kaprizov shaking his left arm. Well, Kaprizov staying out there, but he wore that slash from David Savard, and there was no penalty call. Still grimacing a bit as Kaprizov. Right circle Boldy. Centers for Kaprizov. It bounced away. And Suzuki gets it out to center. Marcus Johansson on a reset. Cuts his way up ice. Over the blue line right side. Drops it back Kaprizov. Spikes it along Boldy. Carries in towards the left circle. Down low Johansson. Rink wide on a one-touch. Kaprizov couldn't handle it cleanly. They'll force it back to Boldy. Will Kirill Kaprizov. Boldy back of the net. Kaprizov centers. Hartman had to jam him a bit. The Canadiens spike it down.
Yeah, Minnesota doesn't need more goals, but they got the man advantage. They get the opportunities, get the shots to the net, and see if they can open up the lead just a little bit more. But still 45 seconds remaining with the man advantage for Minnesota.
Boudreau over the blue line off the Declan Chisholm. 40 seconds left on the power play. 2:18 to go. Foligno trying to carve out from a tough angle. Xhekaj there. Arbor Xhekaj. Guides it out to center. Rossi steals and bursts right back in for Minnesota. Marco Rossi hands it behind his back. Boudreau right side, a shot blocked. Hit his own man Foligno. And Xhekaj to push the pace. Xhekaj into the Wild zone. Left side of Rister. Trapped by Gustafsson carefully. Just hanging on and getting a whistle.
Watching Foligno right now, having a few words out there. You don't want to take any penalties at this point.
$1:56 to go. Boy, this rate might be half the Iowa Wild roster playing for Minnesota on Saturday against Dallas.
Fellini's still having words with Jack Guy, and I said before, Jack Guy's a big boy, also 6'4", 240 pounds. They call him the enforcer or the sheriff of that hockey club, and at that size, he can be the sheriff. Face-off deep in the Minnesota zone.
Hartman looking around, trying to set things up on this draw to the right of Gustafson. Montembeault still between the pipes for Montreal. They're down by 2 with $1:56 left. Power play for Minnesota down to 17 seconds. Hartman now thrown from the circle. Rossi in to take it against Suzuki, who has Matheson right over his right shoulder. Try to win it that way. It deflects free. Lauko, a little chip and chase. Lauko pushes the pace for Minnesota. Jakub Lauko curled up at the circle, right side. His pass was blocked. The St. Montembeault follows his team up the ice. 5 seconds from now, Hudson's out of the box. 100 seconds to go. Wild trying to hang on. The Canadiens have pulled their netminder. Suzuki dances in, feeds it to Caulfield. Left back. It is Slavkovsky high slot to Caulfield. One touch to the point for Matheson. Surveying before feeding Hudson. Hudson back to Matheson. Empty net for Montreal down by 2. Caulfield left side, back up top. Matheson fake the drive. Carries in towards the left circle and then plays it to Hudson. Hudson jammed it down low. Back to the point it comes. Hudson to Matheson. A drive blocked by Lauko. $1:05 to go. Canadiens force it back up top to Mike Matheson. Matheson feeds it to Hudson. Back to Mike Matheson. Matheson trying to carve one down low, tipped away by Rossi. A minute left. 6-on-5 for Montreal. Wild in front 2-0. Matheson right circle. Trying to get away from the pressure of Lauko. It's spun to the point for Hudson. Hudson back to Matheson. Set up Suzuki for a one-timer. Gustafson the save.
Boy, look at the position of Gus. Absolutely right in the center of that blue paint area, out of the top of the blue paint. And he just takes it in the midsection. Very easy save for him. No rebound to be had. He's done a good job of controlling the pucks coming his way. 43.6 seconds showing in the clock right now. Minnesota with a 2-0 lead over the Montreal Canadiens. Montreal, Minnesota, their last 17 games coming this one. Minnesota's gone 16-1-0 on those 17.
Canadiens have used their timeout, Tom. Just the reset. No Jonas Brodin to start for Minnesota, injured in the first period. Zuccarello absorbing a shot from his own teammate. Kind of caught him in a very mid-body spot. He hasn't returned. Joel Eriksson, moments after that, hobbled back to the Wild dressing room. We're not sure what happened, but he hasn't returned. And the Wild have sort of been in gut check mode since, Tom.
And those two guys, when they're down, when they're out, you know they're hurt.
Absolutely.
Those two guys,
gamers.
They're gamers. Yep. That's exactly. They like the physical part of it. They're not afraid of it. And right now, Minnesota's just trying to accomplish something here to get a nice 43.6 seconds remaining. Winning the draw will be paramount for Minnesota also. They can do that.
Draw to the left of Gustafson. Still an empty net for Montreal. Canadiens come up with the puck for a moment. It is played to the point now, where Hudson feeds it along for a drive, whistled wide. Half minute to go. Puck ricochets all the way back into Montreal ice. Lane Hudson back to grab it. Hudson's second fastest ever Montreal rookie to 10 helpers. Kaprizov into the empty net. He scores! He stole it. He slammed it home. And late in the third, Kirill Kaprizov has the 2-point game. It's 3-0 Minnesota.
Well, there's no question. Kaprizov, he can find the puck. More importantly, he can find the opening and put the puck into it. And he just was reaching there. He's out at the blue paint area, and no one able to get to him. He had 3 white jerseys around him. He was able to defend that puck. He was good body position. Came off his skate onto the stick and beats everyone wide open net. That is the 7th empty net goal that Minnesota has scored this year, and that's the 5th time the Montreal Canadiens have given up an empty net goal. Here's the call.
He's got 15 points his last 8 games, Tom.
Kirill Kaprizov, assisted by number 89, Freddie Gaudreau.
Final seconds tick down here in St. Paul. The Wild in front 3-0. Loose puck at center, stashed back by Lauko. Armia grabs it, but the Canadiens run out of time. Philip Gustafson with his first shutout of the season. The 7th of his NHL career. And the Wild after a 3-game road trip, come back on home ice, and they blank Montreal 3-0 the final.
Yeah, Joe, and it's how they did it also without two of their key players in this hockey, two very important pieces of the team. But they did it without number 14 and number 36, and gives the goaltender of Minnesota a lot of credit. He's been absolutely terrific for Minnesota this year. He had a down year last year, but that has not been the case. And you look at Gus at his goal, so you mentioned, Joe, his 7th shutout. The last one came back in March the 19th of 2024 at Anaheim. So good for them. Guys got to be tired right now.
Boldy, Rossi, Kaprizov, even strength power play it into the empty net, respectively, as the Wild shut out the Canadiens. Montreal now 5-10-2 on the season. The Wild have won 8 straight in the all-time season series, 11 straight at home over the Canadiens. Coming in, it was the 6th longest active home winning streak by a team against a single opponent. And the Wild now 11-2-3 on the year, Tom. They'll entertain Dallas on Saturday night.
Yeah, I tell you, this was a big win for this team also, and you can bet that they feel pretty good about themselves and how the guys responded to the challenge given to them after losing 2 of their key players. But they go in the locker room right now, and they got to be pretty happy. The biggest concern now is what is going to happen with the guys who only played a little over 3 minutes in this hockey game. We'll find out, I'm sure, later tomorrow, not so much tonight.
And even more important, to salt away a win against an opponent that is, on paper, not to your caliber, especially given the fact we're unsure of the injury situation for the Wild moving forward. You got to bank those points when you can, and the Wild take care of business here tonight with a 3-0 win as they get their 11th victory of the season. Any other final thoughts, Tom, before a big one looms on Saturday against the Dallas Stars?
Well, Minnesota likes to play against Montreal here. You look at the last 11 games now here at the XL Energy Center, including this one. Minnesota has won all 11 of those games, and they've been very good. And against Montreal in the last 18 games, Minnesota now has won 17 of those 18. And so I'm sure hopefully that will continue. These two teams will meet later on this year. I believe it's in the end of January 30th. And with that, Minnesota can go in and feel very good about the win here tonight.
So that's going to do it for this portion of tonight's broadcast. My thanks to Zach Halverson, our engineer in the Al Shaver press box. Great work by Alexis Pearson, Kevin Fulness, also here at XL Energy Center. We thank them as always. For Tom Reed, I am Joe O'Donnell signing off. The Wild beat the Canadiens 3-0, their first shutout win of the year, the first for Philip Gustafsson this season, and the 7th of his NHL career. 2 more points for Kirill Kaprizov as the Wild win it 3-0. We'll see you Saturday with the Stars in town. Pre-game show starts at 6:45 p.m. Till then, we say stick around for the post-game show. It comes your way next. You're listening to Wild Hockey, presented by XL Energy.
This is John Hines, head coach of the Minnesota Wild. Don't go anywhere. I'm joining shortly to recap everything from this one on the Minnesota Wild post-game show.
Beautiful mountains, wide open spaces, bustling cities and towns. There's a lot to love in our home states. And at Excel Energy, we take pride in helping our local communities thrive. Beyond providing reliable energy, we help support the local economy and fund education with grants. Because your home is our home. And together, we can make it a better place to live, work, learn, and play. See how at excelenergy.com/community.
This is Freddie Goudreau of the Minnesota Wild.
And I'm Marc-Andre Fleury. Here's what's coming up this week in Wild Hockey.
The Wild are home again on Saturday night when they host the Dallas Stars in a Central Division collision. Pre-game at 6:45, puck drops at 7. That's followed by another 3-game trip to St. Louis, Edmonton, and Calgary.
Never miss a second of Wild Hockey. It's all available each night.
Exclusively on the Minnesota Wild Radio Network.
Standing 6'2" and weighing in at over 200 pounds, Wild forward Yakov Trenyan is known for playing a heavy game and going to the dirty areas. There is nothing soft about Yakov Trenyan. Nothing. No, seriously, I'm actually a little afraid of him.
Hey, Wild fan. This is Yakov Trenyan.
Not weird. Wild.
'Tis the hockey season. Celebrate the holidays and enjoy a Wild game with friends and family in a private suite. Learn more at wild.com/comfort.
Are you annoyingly inattentive?
Do you watch a movie and then ask a zillion questions because you weren't paying attention? Do people ask, how do you sleep at night? Then you should get a mattress from Mattress Firm. They can help anyone sleep. At Mattress Firm's Black Friday sale, get a king for the price of a queen and a free adjustable base with select Sealy beds, all with a low price guarantee. Get matched at Mattress Firm. Sleep at night. Restrictions apply. See store or website for details.
The XL Energy postgame show starts now.
It's Wierenski trying to get around Faber. Threw it to the back post. Big save, Gustafsson!
The XL Energy postgame show is presented in part by
Toyota, official vehicle of the Minnesota Wild. Anderson Windows and Doors. Love the life you see. Your Bryant Heating and Cooling dealers, doing whatever it takes since 1904. Tria Orthopedics, official team physicians of the Minnesota Wild.
Howdy, boys.
Hey, Guzbus. Good morning.
The empty net. He scores! Philip Gustafsson with a goalie goal!
Catalyst Supply Co. Building materials and install support. Boost your build. Excel Energy. Proudly powering the great state of hockey with safe, clean, and reliable energy.
Coming up, all the post-game reaction from this one, plus you hear from the head coach.
This is John Hines. My comments are coming up shortly. But first, from the Bob Kurtz Radio Center, here's Kevin Fallness.
Kaprizov into the empty net. He scores! He stole it. He slammed it home. And late in the third, Kirill Kaprizov has a 2-point game. It's 3-0 Minnesota.
Yeah, amongst everything else tonight, Kirill Kaprizov ties Nathan MacKinnon for the NHL scoring lead on the top of the charts, number one each with 30 points. But even more important than that, the Wild blanked the Canadiens 3-0 tonight in front of 17,012 at XL Energy Center. Kevin Fallness downstairs in the Bob Kurtz Radio Center, upstairs in the Al Shaver press box. Tom Reed watched this Wild team outgunned, I shouldn't say outgunned, definitely outmanned, especially without two very key components for the bulk of this hockey game. But somehow, some way, Thomas, the Wild figure out a way to get it done on home ice.
Yeah, you're right, Kevin. The team played very well without those two guys. They only played less than 4 minutes in this hockey game. Of course, we're talking about 36, that being Zuccarello, and, of course, number 14, Joel Eriksson. But the guys came through, and, there's a challenge there, too, and I'm sure the coach is saying to the guys, hey, guys, we got to step it up here. Everybody kind of jump on board here, and they all work together to make it happen.
I'm going to get to our Toyota shift of the game later on, but it proves to be the eventual game winner from Matt Boldy, who all he does is score game winners this year, but that thing was a thing of beauty. He gets the finishing touches and ends up with the game winner as it puts the Wild and breaks the scoreless tie, but the passing between Kaprizov, Johansson, and Boldy, that was great.
Yeah, it really was, and Johansson, give him a lot of credit. I really like the way he has played this year. I thought last year he didn't have much of a year, but he has stepped up. He's skating so well right now. He's in great shape, and he has done exactly what they want him to do, and that's to move his legs and get some things happening here. But how about Boldy? Now, that is goal number 10 on the year. He's got 5 game-winning goals this season.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy is amazing. And, some guys don't get that in their career, some star players, but he certainly has stepped up here for the Wild.
A solid 1-2 punch. We know how good Kaprizov is. Like I said, number one in the National Hockey League, tied with Nathan MacKinnon in terms of points, but right there hot on their heels, at least from a goal-scoring perspective. Matt Boldy is doing some great things for the Wild up front. Let's get Tom Reed's catalyst of the game.
Well, I'm going to go with Philip Gustafsson. I thought he was great once again, Kevin. He did exactly what he had to do, and that's to keep the puck out of the net. He only had 19 shots coming his way, but he had some difficult shots, but he was in good position all the way through. But that was a huge plus for him. You look at him, that's his 7th shutout in his career. And you look at the fact that in the last 6 games he's played now, he's gone 4-1-1 in that stretch, giving up just 12 goals in those 6 games. So he's hot on the trail right now of the National Hockey League in the way he has played.
Good choice. First shutout of the season, 7th of his career. Now you put that in your pocket. Those are 4 doormats that the Wild took care of over the course of the last week. All apologies to them. All 4 of them are at the bottom of the standings. Things change dramatically come Saturday in St. Paul when the Wild host the Dallas Stars, doesn't it?
Yeah, it does. And you know what? The guys are not looking ahead. They're just looking at this game. Now they have a chance, I would imagine, might be an optional tomorrow because the guys have had so much, of hard-fought games over the last few days here. They've had some rest also, which is good for them both mentally and physically. But I would expect that game coming here with Dallas, and Dallas is a very solid team. We know that. It'll be a battle.
All right, Tom, thank you.
Thank you.
Tom Reed upstairs in the Al Shaver press box delivers Tom Reed's Catalyst of the Game, it goes to Philip Gustafson, the Gus Bus. The Catalyst of the Game is presented by Catalyst Supply Co. Building materials and install support boost your build. As the post-game show rolls forward, we'll hear from Philip Gustafson, we'll hear from John Hines, and we'll check in with Joe O'Donnell down by the Wild Locker Room. So much fun stuff coming your way. Why would you go anywhere? Of course you won't. Leave it right here. More after this. You're listening to Wild Hockey, presented by XL Energy.
Experience the evolution of Linkin Park.
We didn't say, let's get the band together. The album became an album while the band became a band.
I'm Emily Armstrong. Linkin Park Radio is back with our new album, From Zero.
Join us for Linkin Park Radio.
For a limited time, starting tomorrow on Channel 41. Or listen at home with the SiriusXM app.
Join me, Gord Stellick, and Scott Laughlin as we recap the night that was on NHL Morning Skate, weekday mornings at 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91.
The biggest names in the game.
Trying to get behind Ristolainen and walks in, put it between his legs, shoots it, score!
NHL play-by-play on SiriusXM.
Join me, Scott Laughlin, and Gord Stellick, along with former NHLer Mike Johnson for NHL Morning Skate, weekday morning, 7 a.m. Eastern on NHL Network Radio, SiriusXM 91.
Told you about Tom Reed's Catalyst of the Game. It goes to Philip Gustafson, but the Toyota shift of the game goes to the offensive punch. Scoreless through one period of play, scoreless through the middle frame. Finally, the Wild break through, and it's Matt Boldy with the Toyota shift of the game.
Left wing corner protecting center. Johansson, the back post. They score!
Matt Boldy on the beautiful pass.